Noon. Gwynn and Chris, Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matthew Scraby. So typically, as you guys know, we kind of throughout the day put together our little rundown. But Scraby is in charge of coming up with like the title of the said segment.
No.
So today's leading topic today. First, Chris, how are you today, my friend?
Very good. Went to a Major League Baseball game last night and enjoyed everything but the final result. But very well today, Tony. Feeling refreshed.
Matthew,
after a night at the ballpark.
Yes.
How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for asking. I watched the game last night like Chris. I didn't have as much fun watching the game as Chris did, but
Well, you got to enjoy yourself.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
If you like to see
building.
if you like to see the baseball hit hard, last night's game was for you.
Yeah, the Padres put
It
12
was.
balls in play at 100 miles an hour or greater.
And all of them were caught, I think. The
it felt like
Nationals ones that hit that hard, bounced off foul poles and went for home runs. So it was, but anyway.
What?
So
what are you
that
gonna
leads-
I got
that-
ahead of myself a little there.
That leads me into today's titled segment.
Okay. Yeah. What
Revisionist history is strong today.
Yes, it is.
I don't think that's wrong.
No, it's not. It's not wrong at all. The author kind of hit the nail on the head there. Is that revisionist history is strong, and I kind of knew it in real time as it was happening.
Oh, yes.
Every
you
time Abrams singled, every time Woods was on base, every time the time he hit the ball off the foul pole, and the umpire did his best to try to mess it up, calling it foul and then fair.
knew. Wood looked at the umpire like, in what world can that possibly be foul?
I'm sure. I think everybody was looking at him like
Yeah.
that.
The only person not looking like that was Matsui, hoping that it was true somehow.
Right.
But,
Like it hit the outside of the pole.
I don't know.
So
It didn't count. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, I knew in real time as it was happening. The 1 and 2 Abrams and Wood combined for 6 hits and a bunch of runs and RBIs.
Oh, yes.
And
Josh
so
Bell, too, because, we should have never traded him.
No, Josh Bell's another one. He also hit a ball on his tippy toes.
Into the upper deck.
Into the upper deck. So
yes, he raised his average. For those of you who are desperately missing Josh Bell, his 2 for 4 last night raised his batting average to 197. So let's, ease back a little. But, Tony, you're right. I looked it up this morning because it felt like it was a lot. And it was 7 runs, 8 hits, and 7 RBIs.
that's
for those
between the
3 guys.
Okay, yeah.
And that's a lot of damage, and give them credit. They all had good nights. And look, if they had nights like that all the time, the Nationals would not have one of the worst records in baseball. But
Yeah, the National League East would be like the best division in
Yes,
baseball
but
if they were having nights like that every night.
they hit the ball. They hit the ball on point all night long, and it was up and down the order. I think the top 6 guys all had 2 or more hits.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it wasn't Steven's best day out there. I mean,
it wasn't Wandy's and it wasn't Matsui's. It just was one of those for those guys.
Yeah.
But it could have been different, Tony. I'm just saying it really could have been different because of all the balls the Padres. I don't know what the world record is for flying out to the warning track, but the Padres came close last night.
Yesterday was the game that convinced Jesse and I that it is indeed not just our eyes playing tricks on us, that the ball is not traveling well this year. And we've heard we've heard rumblings about it. My man Andrew McCutcheon came out and was basically like, I heard from a source that the balls are different this year, not intentionally, but
you think it's the balls, not necessarily the location of Petco Park or the winds knocking it. That.
This isn't a noticeable thing just here at Petco. This is
it's
across
everywhere.
the league.
Okay.
Yeah. And you hear rumblings. I'm very slow to like
come
jump
around
on that, jump on that kind of bandwagon. But here we are in July or June, almost July, and it's starting to be a little bit more consistent. As I said, maybe it was about 3 weeks ago, McCutcheon came out and said he had talked to a source. And then our guy, our favorite guy, Sampson, the one who I
want to talk to Sampson.
Our guy
David Sampson,
who doesn't treat our guy AJ very well. said that basically came out 2 days ago and was like, whoever Andrew McCutchen is talking to, I promise you, doesn't know what he's talking about. Only for Andrew McCutchen to then clip that,
Good.
re-quote it, and said, actually, my source was the commissioner. So, that kind of blew a grenade at David Sampson's whole deal. But
well,
I think
Tony, you're right. I mean, Tatis hit 1 home run. I thought he hit 3.
I thought he
Diaz hit at least 1.
He thought he hit at least 2.
Yeah, Diaz hit 1 to center field. It didn't even get to the warning track. But when it left the bat, again, the miles per hour, says what it is. I mean, it was just the ball was crushed.
Yeah.
Arise not only had the 1 home run stolen, and, the guy made a really nice play in right field. The rookie Lyle went up there and got it. But Arise hit another ball that I thought was going to be a home run. And so I think you're right, Tony. Last night, it just really stood out. Balls were flying out to there and then stopping. And it was weird. So I think you have something here. But again, I mean, this isn't an excuse for anybody saying, you guys are making an excuse. No, both teams hit the same baseball. Don't get me wrong. It's just one of those nights where it seemed like the Padres really were tattooing the ball and not getting the full
I hope
bang for the buck.
I hope that's a good thing, right?
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
We are starting to see them swing the bat a little bit better. Hopefully they can continue to hit it hard. We just find some outfield grass or some bleachers for the ball to go into versus kind of the outcome.
It did not happen last night for sure. And, it is compounded by the fact that, the former Padres, the thing is we could come on the show and totally try our best to douse all of your anger out there and all of your anger surrounding the fact that we traded C.J. Abrams, James Wood, and you'll throw in Josh Bell today because he had such a good game. We could do that, except for we spent all day yesterday doing that. So I don't think we need to do it again. Tony is accurate. He's right. The Padres went to the playoffs after trading these guys. Twice. They contended for the playoffs a third year. They're contending again this year. The Nationals, despite acquiring all of these supposed Hall of Famers, haven't been near the 500 mark since that trade was made. And furthermore, Braden brought up an excellent point, so I'll give him some credit on it. The Padres have been beating up on the Nationals regularly since this trade was made.
I think it's also important to point out that those were Wood's first hit against the Padres since the trade.
Yes, thank you.
It was 0 for 11, I believe, prior to last night.
Well,
and so, I get it. These dudes, I think everybody thought, even when the trade happened, that those guys would be doing what they were doing. We thought about where Abrams would be is about where Abrams would be. We thought Wood would be exactly where Wood would be. And we thought Mackenzie Gore would be exactly where he would be at this point. And the difference is yesterday they beat us. That's really it. Those guys, maybe Mackenzie would have, I think CJ would have had the opportunity to fail at this level, but Wood wouldn't have been able to, he wouldn't have been able to come up and fail like that. I mean, I don't know. I get where the irritation is, but I mean, that's kind of the cost of doing business when you are trying to win a world title.
You guys always tell me to stop paying attention to what people say, but this text message is from my fantasy baseball group. I'm not going to out the person that sent it to us last night, but here we go. Just a quick reminder, James Wood has outperformed Juan Soto himself this year. Oh, but we traded Soto for Michael King. It was a terrible trade that will haunt the organization that for the next 10 to 15 years. An outfield of Wood, Merrill, Tatis with Abrams at shortstop and no Bogart's contract. Mackenzie Gore in the rotation with Robert Hassel waiting. Looks a lot better than renting Soto, unless fans like watching that shuffle. Haunting, I tell you, 10 to 15 years.
My mom always used to tell me, son, birds of a feather flock together. So this makes perfect sense that
would you say he's in your league? Oh yeah,
you were in the league last year too,
and I got out quickly.
You had to beg him to be in that league too.
Yeah.
By the way,
no, I
dragging his feet.
I was trying to get Chris involved with the listeners anyway.
Here's the Nationals record, the brilliant Nationals record since making this trade: 55-107, 71-91, 71-91. This year, they are seemingly much improved at 33-46. They are a combined 100 games under 500 since trading Soto for all of these Hall of Fame players. I'm just saying, last night, Tony's right. They beat us. They had a great game. But the Nationals still have a long time to wait for these guys to come around. And by the time they get to the level of maybe winning, pennants and divisions, I don't know how much more control do they have of Abrams and James Wood. These guys could be free agents and be on their way to the next place.
Tick.
The Padres, it's so what revisionist history is strong. Thank you, Scraby, because the Padres have been in the playoffs twice, and they were close once, and we'll see about this year. But those trades, that trade, you can't say that even if it was a rental, and it wasn't fully a rental because the Padres have gotten players back since.
I was about to say the 1 year rental got us.
But even if it was, we got within 2 games of the World Series.
The 1.5 year rental got us a NLCS appearance, like 6 games of it. It got us when it didn't work out. In the next year, it turned around and got you Michael King and Kyle Gashioka and Vasquez. I mean, the list is on, and you flip that. In one case, they also get Cease. So please spare me the grouch, the grump.
I think you should take that text there that you got, or was it a text or tweet from your league?
No, this was even worse because I couldn't buffer myself from it. It just comes right in.
To your phone.
I've carefully crafted it so I don't see these things during the game.
Well, you know that I had to get out of your league last year because I got all of these.
Don't badmouth the league now.
Oh, I'm badmouthing these people if they're going to say things like that.
It was one person.
Yeah, I think you should forward that to Tony so he can read it himself over and over the rest of the day.
I don't think Tony wants anything to do with that.
Please don't say it to me. I don't want to see it at all.
That text boil it makes my skin boil. Honestly,
man, that would be painful.
Yeah, a little
boiling skin.
Yeah, it's pain. Well, that text was painful.
Trust me, Chris. When I read it this morning, I was like, "What is happening here?"
What did you have to share it with us for?
Because I thought
keep it to yourself.
It encapsulated what some fans are feeling out there, which I don't understand those fans. Because
I don't think it's a lot of fans thinking that.
I would much rather lose 2 out of 2 in the playoffs 2 out of the last 3 years than not make the playoffs at all. So
never mind not making it. They haven't been within 20 games of making it.
Here's what I can also say, and this is kind of on a funny note. What's the Blink-182 song we play?
All the Small Things.
You know why All the Small Things is popping the way it did? Because this was playing when it was raining against the Dodgers in the playoffs.
That's true.
Guess what? You don't experience that.
No.
You don't experience it.
No.
You don't experience it. We wouldn't have. I mean, it's our theme song now. You know, Boston has Sweet Caroline, and you know somebody that's kind of our stilo at this point. We don't even create that if we don't go to the playoffs and beat the Dodgers. It'd just be another song going right now.
Somebody asked C.J. Abrams tonight before the game what he was doing on that particular Saturday evening in October. He certainly wasn't out playing shortstop for anybody.
I also remember people last year crushing C.J. Abrams and saying, I'm so glad he's not on our team after he was caught in a casino
1,000%.
at like 5 a.m. during the season.
They also had
I saw those same tweets when he was out getting his gambling on.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's just we're so lucky that he's not here. It's
dodged a bullet. I saw that one too. Yeah, like get out of here.
This has been one of my favorite segments in the last.
We got to go another 2 minutes, don't we? Another minute.
We'll go another 2 minutes.
I mean, I just, look, you people, it's not. You're right. I think we got to put it in a little perspective. I hope anyway that most of our audience, because I like to believe that we have actually kind of a smart listenership out there.
We do.
A little bit more of a highbrow listenership. I hope.
Highbrow.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, well, Chris, do you know anything about 1998's baseball team?
I've been there. I just hope that, for the most of you are sitting there shaking your head the same way we are at some of the thought process that's going down. There is no doubt that last night was a Washington Nationals night. And that's as good as they can probably be.
I was going to say, what are they going to do in the next 2 games? If they win the series, then who cares?
We'll see. And James Wood is a star on the rise, no question. But so is Michael King, when healthy. And so are, the Padres organization is in, insanely
here's the other
better shape than the Washington Nationals. I don't think it's even a conversation, is it? So,
yeah, no, it shouldn't be, but it is.
I know. Yeah,
I literally had to spent the segment talking about it. So
someone asked me, why do you guys talk about what the Doomers say? And the reason is because we want to put the Doomers to shame. We want to tell everybody that the Doomers are wrong.
Is that why we talk about it?
At least that's why I put it on the sheet.
Okay, let's flip it on them. Next segment, let's talk about the things that the non-Doomers are talking about. Do we have that list as well?
Oh, man, I tell you what, I'm going to be honest with you, Tony.
Not much from last night except for the
morning.
Fernando 3-run homer,
and that was a 2 outs in the 9th. And how I love 3-run homers, but that's about the one time that they don't do a lot for you. Yeah, I will be honest with you. Overall, let's just get away from the sky is falling people. The bottom line, people are it's 7-12 over the last 19 games. It's a losing month of June. It's 28-33 since they started 14-3. Now, all of the games count, and so they have the record they should have. But I think there are some people that might be getting to a point of some reasonable concern.
We can explore
that if they don't start playing a little bit better, get a little healthier, this could get a little bit away from us. So I think that's a fair thought, and I think reasonable people are having that thought.
I think we can definitely talk about that.
Let's talk about it on the other side. More Gwynn and Chris. Hey, everyone. Tony Gwynn Jr.
These things, it even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here, don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. 4th hole, nice smooth delivery, hit it too hard.
Sasquatch. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not used to complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things, it even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here, don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. 4th hole, nice smooth delivery, hit it too hard.
Sasquatch. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things, it even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard. Gwynn and Chris, Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr., and Matt Scraby. Tony's down at the ballpark. Game 2, Padres Nationals tonight. Speaking of the Nationals, TV broadcaster Kevin Frandsen will join the program here in about 15 minutes. We'll see what he thinks about the Hall of Talent that the Padres sent Washington's way a couple of years ago. We also have our Chris's Fantabulous Sports Game Show today and a Big Five. In and around that, the Daily Gambit, Chris versus the fans. It'll be quite the day. Padres, for the first time in almost a month, hit 3 home runs last night. So I guess there's that. We already discussed this. I mean, they hit the ball, hard all night. Didn't get a lot to show for it, and lost to the Nats 10-6. But the question is put before the court here. Concern is always too much, I think, and Tony, I know you think, when we haven't even reached the halfway point of the season. But where should even reasonable people be thinking about this Padre club, in the sense that it's been a couple of months since they've really, been in their groove for any kind of extended period? Tony,
What's the question?
Yeah.
well, what should we think? Should we not be concerned at all? Should there be just a little bit of, hey, I'd like to get back to playing better, that type of thing? Yeah, ask.
Is this team as constructed now on June 24th, as talented as the team that was constructed on June 24th of last year?
Yes.
No.
One says no, one says yes.
Wait. Re-ask the question.
Are they as talented from a talent standpoint?
This year versus last year? I don't think so.
I think a healthy this year's team is every bit as good.
One, yeah.
Okay, well, so that's how they're constructed.
But
those guys are not healthy.
Are we not talking about the time that's already been missed by Jake and Jackson? Or are we just saying this moment?
I'm asking right this moment versus last year at this moment.
Okay, I was wrong. Yes, they are more talented now than they were last year.
You think they're more talented now than they were than last year? I think it's about a push, in my opinion.
It's pretty close.
Yeah. I think, you got Pavetta, but you don't have King.
And you don't have Musgrove.
You don't have Musgrove.
Well, but you do have King. It's just you got to get him on the roster.
Not pitching.
Yeah.
Right. He's not pitching.
Well, the team go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
I say that to say this team is ahead of where they were at this point last year in terms of wins and losses. And I think last year serves as a good reminder that team that we grew so fondly of didn't start playing the type of baseball that we were expecting until probably August is when they started to play that way. And so, yes, they got off to a 14-3 start this year. They're 18. Would you say their record was since
28-33?
28-33. They're basically hovering at 500, a little bit below. I think 10 more games, they'll probably be closer to 500 is my guess. And so, given everything that this team has dealt with, they've been doing it. They did a large month of it without Merrill and Cronenworth. Some of the injuries on the offensive side, pitching side. I would say this is probably where they should be right now, given what we know.
Okay, I won't disagree with you. I think they are. Your record almost always says where you should be, and I think they are. They're 6 games over 500, which is okay. It's not great. It is ahead of last year's record, no question. Remember, last year they went into the All-Star break 50-49. They also lost their first game after the All-Star break and went to 50-50. Here's the thing that I don't think we can count on this year that we did get last year. And that is that last year's team finished the season going 43-19. That is an almost unbelievable stretch of 62 games.
I don't think we could.
So I don't think we can assume. I don't think we can assume that that's going to happen again this year, even under the best of circumstances, because that's a really hard record to come up with.
Yeah, I don't know that it needs to be that record to come up with when you've already have 6 games ahead of where you were at this point last year. So you 40. You said 43-19. So you're looking at what 37 and
35 and 25 is what you would need now if you continue. Yeah. Look, I think they're going to get where they want to go, Tony, and I think that's October baseball. But I have to tell you that every once in a blue moon here in the last couple of weeks, it's creeped into my mind, and I've had to shun it away. That maybe they won't get there. And the only reason I say they maybe won't get there is because the health, it hasn't come back yet. And until it does, until we can get everybody together and playing, this is not the same team that I was really, really confident about 2 months ago or a month and a half ago.
Yeah, well, that's what injuries do.
I know.
They shake your confidence. I don't really know what to tell y'all. I think at the end of the day, this team gets where they need to get to. I think the injuries play themselves out. See, Saul King playing some catch yesterday.
Yep.
Darv continues to keep throwing bullpens pretty consistently. And so you just kind of got to wait this thing out. I want to see them continue to win series. They got back to that in that Kansas City. They got to win these next 2 to win this one. You go to Cincinnati, you go to Philly, and you just got to try to maintain until you get the cavalry back. Hopefully they come back sooner than later.
All right. Last year on June 19th, they played their 78th game. They beat the Phillies and improved to 38-40. They are quite a bit ahead of that this year as far as being 42-36.
Yeah.
All right. More Gwynn and Chris coming up. The Nationals on their way to their 4th straight World Series since making that Juan Soto trade and acquiring C.J. Abrams and James Wood and all these guys. Kevin Frandsen must be really excited about it. We'll talk to the Nationals TV broadcaster next on Gwynn and Chris.
Gwynn and Chris on the Fan.
2:35 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris L.O., Matt Scravy. Kevin Frandsen will join us shortly. Talk a little bit about the Nationals' perspective on the Padres stimulus package and
The haul.
how they were able to kind of go to work in last night's game. I'm pretty sure I haven't talked to Kevin he'll have a lot to say about these particular players. He is infatuated with Wood, as he should be. And I think you guys will find what he has to say quite
How about
interesting.
How about Wood and Jackson Merrill being like buddies growing up in the same
buddies.
neighborhood?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a talented area.
All right, let me ask you guys this. Would you rather have Jackson Merrill or James Wood? Because that's basically how it was, one or the other for Soto. So would you rather have Merrill?
Just explain to me why.
James Wood was the
if we
key.
I don't think it was one or the
telling
other.
me we couldn't have had Jackson Merrill?
No. What I'm saying is they were both on the Padres.
Okay.
So if it was either James Wood going to the Nationals or Jackson Merrill
I didn't
going to
know
the
that.
Nationals.
Wait, is that
really
you
true.
saying if, or you're saying that was a fact?
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
that's
it's not a
true.
fact. If
Oh, okay.
who would you
if that
rather
was a
have
fact.
Okay.
for the rest of their career?
All right, I'll take. You know what? I'll take Jackson Merrill. So let's end it right there because I think he's a better overall ball player. I think Wood might be a little more dangerous in the batter's box at this stage.
Listen,
The guy's got 22 pops already. You know, the guy's he's a big bat, but there's a lot of parts of baseball that I think Jackson Merrill excels at that aren't on the stat sheet.
I agree with that. I want Jackson Merrill here. I'm a huge Jackson Merrill fan.
Yeah, this is silly. But
It is kind of silly.
Jackson Merrill's the guy, and I think you can make the argument because remember Jackson was a shortstop. Would that door have ever been open if you still had Wood in the organization?
Well,
you know what I'm saying, to move him to the outfield because it was left field that was the thing that was up for grabs initially before Jackson was given the opportunity and turned it to what it was. But if Wood is still in the organization when the Padres go to, we don't know that that's how they would have thought of it at that point.
They're all in the organization, Tony. We have taken back the Soto trade.
We got him back.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They're all
Okay.
back.
Oh, so now we have Jackson Merrill and James Wood in the outfield. This is great.
And
So
Tatis.
Wow.
And we have CJ
So the-
Abrams at shortstop, and we never signed Xander Bogaerts. And we still have Mackenzie Gore. We don't have King. We don't have Cease.
Real quick question.
We don't need them. We've got, all these other guys.
And I'm sure Juan is wondering this himself. Does he then have to give the $500, $600 million he just signed for back? Because that does never happen. Do we undo all of it?
I really don't know, but I think Juan Soto's now a senator living in Washington, D.C. because he just was never able to get out of that community. I think he's I think he's in the Trump cabinet somewhere.
Yeah,
I just
He
don't.
said a Trump.
Yes, he's a cabinet member. That's the whole thing of this. Is it's fun to talk about and kick around, but there's one trade leads to 10 different things, right, Tony? I mean,
right.
Everybody's putting it in a vacuum and saying, well, James Wood used to be ours. He's not anymore. So we messed up. And I guess if you look at it that way, it sounds like the Padres messed up, but that's not the way it is.
No. And I'm so tired of having to explain this all the time.
Haven't we explained it a lot? Right.
And it's not even that we're explaining it. It's just the conversation is fun to talk about, but it's when it gets to a serious point. It's oh, we lost the trade at this point. It's okay, well, yeah, if you take away what we were able to get to, because of the trade, ultimately. So let's get to our phone lines. My buddy Kevin Frandsen joins us, color analyst for the Washington Nationals. And Kev, man, I was telling these guys before you came on that you would have a lot to say about this trade. We were talking about the Padres stimulus package that we gave up for Juan Soto. And, obviously Juan's not here anymore. He's in New York. Padres were able to accomplish some things while he was here. But from the national standpoint, Kev, how have you gotten a chance to see really the big three develop as they've been here? We see what Wood is doing now. Abrams as well as Mackenzie Gore. What have been your thought on those three?
Well, first off, since we're in San Diego, it's just like waking up every morning here in San Diego, right? Which is you're going to be happy. Like there's no mornings you wake up in this place and go, man, this sucks, right? So that's what a Nationals fan is right now. We get to enjoy it, and look, when you don't, you didn't really have the development going on as far as the system. We need the influx of talent, and Juan turning down $440 million, which is like just asinine to think about right now. Like, can you believe that?
No.
You turned down $440, and you bet on yourself, and like you actually win it. You almost double it, which is still insane to me.
Right.
But like, look, AJ Preller has got stones. He's willing to do something, willing to change because of why, willing to put everything on the line for the fan. And I think that's the part that, like, at the end of the day, if fans are going to sit there and see what you had, they knew what they had, but they also knew they needed to get somewhere else. And so with that, we get the benefit in the later years of this. And, again, it's going to come up in a few years, I think, where you're looking at it's only a successful trade for me if they keep at least one or two of them.
Yeah, Kevin Frandsen is with us from the Nationals television broadcast. Take us in general, because this trade is a big part of it. But from the Nationals being World Series champs to the Nationals basically being an also-ran here for 5-6 years in a row, where is the development of this franchise in terms of getting back to competing?
Well, the start of it was the Soto deal. I think that's number one, and getting those guys back. That's an easy one to see. The other side of it is, they've gone through a little bit different as far as the front office, as far as the drafting side of it. Some new guys involved there, and it's been a couple of good drafts. We were missing a lot on drafts and high draft picks in recent years. So, the development part of it, you're starting to see. But look, 2020 hurt so many people. And in the baseball world, I think there was one that was hurt more than most, and that was the Nats, because of coming off of the World Series. You don't get to use, the following year's, revenue, just all your revenue from sales and ticket sales and merchandise and all that stuff. So that hurt the franchise quite a bit, set it back. I guess you could say it's looking up, but again, it's how much talent you have in that division. I mean, it's you see it here in the West all the time, which is awesome, right? Like, that's what you want. You want guys competing. You want teams to compete. You want teams with like just insane talent that your fans come out and see that you have your own insane talent. Well, the East is the same way. And it's always going to be about pitching. I think, you're going to have your star hitters. You're going to have all that, but how can you overcome that? How can you deal with it with your pitching side? And that's where I think, we're still trailing there quite a bit, and, more the merrier.
Kevin Frandsen joins us. Yeah, no doubt, Kev, that the position player side certainly seems to be moving in the direction that will be fruitful here down in the future. But on the pitching side, Mackenzie Gore being one of those guys, he got off to a great start. He was dominating in terms of the punch out. Where have you seen his development from the start of the year till now?
Ooh, good one. I can even go back to last year saying, like, emotionally, just way more, like, just in check. It's just awesome to watch. That's like the cool part about, like, broadcasting and seeing it, right? Like, you get to talk to these guys is one thing, but, like, watching them every night from our vantage point and seeing how they conduct themselves as far as, like, oh, they're just letting this thing roll off. It's going to continue. You're going to be just fine, And that took a little bit for Mackenzie. And from the beginning of the year to the end, like to where we are right now, I'm just like, we're starting to see someone that just is confident and knows that every start he's going to go out and he's going to dominate. That's what he feels like. And that's what it looks like, and he's had a hiccup here. He's had a hiccup there. Guess what? Everyone does. It's rare that you have a full season where you have 33 starts that are just phenomenal. It's how you respond after that. And what we've seen from, Mackenzie is that he's been able to respond and just dial it in and figure it out. I mean, the curveball's been really good. The slider, he's had like 2 shakes on it this year that has really helped him out quite a bit. But more importantly, I feel like, yes, the punch outs are wanted or needed by him. Like that's what fuels a lot of it for him. But he's understanding that, like, oh, I get into that 6th and 7th easy with no stress if I just get, pitch contact here and there. And he's been doing such a good job. he's turning out to be, something that we were hoping to see, and we are, and it's fun to see. Sorry you can't see it every day, every fifth day.
Kevin Frandsen is with us, the Nationals broadcast. What's the ceiling for James Wood? Like, are we looking at a
Hall of Famer? Just don't know.
Hall of Famer? Yeah. Why? I mean, I would think. I mean, that's possible. He's going to hit 50 some year. I would think he's going to steal 25. I mean, people are got to be, starting to run away with what they're thinking this guy's capable of doing.
I'm excited to actually, hopefully witness it. I don't know what it is, because it's been a long time since we've seen a guy his size. Like, because I'm not going to put him in the same spot as Aaron Judge, because they're the same height, but they're not the same build, right? Like, there's two different athletes, and they move totally different. And James is such a it's like you watching like a strong forward, right? Like a almost like a long three, right, in basketball in the NBA that's playing baseball, because he's so dynamic as far as his speed. It's not the first step quickness. It's everything that builds up to. It's his eye. It's his confidence. It's his, like, the demeanor that he has. Oh man, it's kind of fun to watch. Like, some of the old heads like getting mad because he's like, oh, he doesn't care. It's like, no, he cares. He just doesn't want to show you. He doesn't give a crap what you think. He's gonna do his thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's my favorite part with him, is that, like, God, he's such a good kid too. Like, everything, like, there's so many things that you could say. I don't know what the comp is. I don't know what the end is, because at the end of the day, he's 22, and we're like, it's like, wow, what's Jackson Merrill's? Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, like, watching that kid is special, right? And to think that those kids are going to be able to have the possibility of staying on the same team, but they were together in the same area growing up, right? It's like, how is that possible?
Yeah, no, there's definitely some talent out there in the MD. Kevin, I got to ask you, I saw, at least in the new world of sports, Davey Martinez came under some fire for, really protecting his staff, it sounded like at the time. He basically said, and I think many of us think it at times, but don't always verbalize it, that, at some point it becomes about the players and them going out and competing and doing the job. Because ultimately the coaches can coach you up, but you can't go out and swing the bat for your guys. Where's Davey at? I mean, how is he faring in this kind of long rebuild that he's been a part of?
I think he's been good. I think that was like a one-off, right? He's so protective of the players so often, but I think he's also, his coaching staff's taking a huge hit all the time. Like, it's always the coach's fault, never the players and that stuff. And I think he got to that point where he's like, all right, I'm over it. Like, we're changing that narrative. I don't think it came out right. I don't think it, if you were to ask him, I bet you'd be like, yeah, probably shouldn't have gone that route, like how it did. But at the end of the day, it did, right? Like, it did come out. He did say it. And, I think when you look at it, there's been some frustration based on the fact that, like, you would just hope that turning point was already here. And
right,
as far as the rebuild, and it hasn't come, right? I mean, I think there's a lack of depth, everywhere, and you're really riding off of CJ and what he's grown into, which is just a star in himself, and James, and just not the growth of certain players that have been given a long leash. I think that has kind of, he's had to deal with, right? And he's had to be the front point man on the whole thing. So you can understand, like, frustration. I just don't think it came out exactly how you wanted to. I think it would be a fair thing to say, but it did. And at the end of the day, you got to live with it. And it's not going to change who he truly is, which is an awesome human being. And he was just trying to back some, guys that have been getting a lot of, grief a lot over the last few weeks, because, it's always someone else's fault, not the ones that are in the box.
Kevin Frandsen, this is ironic, actually, but it was a year ago in this very ballpark that these two teams played, and Mackenzie Gore was on the mound. He hit Profar with a pitch that led to
would you do it now? You do it
all
all over again now,
right? Yeah. It led to some certain
fireworks.
You did, of course.
Yeah,
And this is the place to say it. But here's what happened after that was over, and Manny Machado got in the box.
1 out, 1 on. And Manny Machado will see if they can make a pay. High drive, deep left field. Winker back at the wall. Take that, says Manny Machado.
All right. That's our guy, of course, Donnie Orsillo. You can give him a hard time if you see him, but how was that whole thing from
the same thing?
Okay, yeah. How was that whole thing from the national side? Because that was a big blow up last summer that the Padre fans all remember. It's kind of over now because all these players are gone. But how did you guys look at that last year?
Number one is once Manny got involved in that whole thing, I was like, man, you guys just pissed off the wrong guy. Like Manny is like the one of the five like guys in the league that like the brightest of lights, like their lights dim in that moment. They're like, yeah, this is whatever for me. And they rise. And like, you knew he was going to homer. Like if you didn't, sorry, I don't think you've been watching Manny Machado long enough. From our side, I'm still going to say it. And I said it then, it was a bunch of crap what Profar had done in that the night before.
Yeah.
Because we walked Luis Ariz to load the bases to face him. Guess what? I would do that a million times and twice on Sunday. Because why? Because it was a great baseball move. You forced the issue. He took now that we could see it, like a foot off the plate away and shot it off the wall in right center field. Understand why he was, Anyway, it's one that I'll always say. It's one that I'll always say is he was in the wrong and he had great teammates who stood up for him, even though he was in the wrong.
Yeah, that's kind of how it's supposed to go, and then you can kind of deal with it behind closed doors as you please to. Kevin, as always, man, appreciate you coming. I'll catch up with you here in a little bit.
All right, you're the best.
Enjoyed it. Thanks, Kevin.
Kevin Frandsen, Nationals color analyst on the television screen, and it's interesting to hear their perspective on it. I don't know that we've actually heard their perspective.
That was interesting.
Profar was completely in the wrong. I think the Padre fans would disagree, but look, Profar did point in the direction of their dugout area after he hit the walk-off shot the night before, but he also felt that he'd been hit earlier in that game, right, Tony? Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of things that preceded everything that happened, so.
It's never in a vacuum, guys.
That's right. It's not
in a vacuum. Rarely ever is, especially when there's more than one person involved. It's very rarely in a vacuum. So yeah, that was fun to kind of go down that memory lane there.
Well, I could listen to that.
By the way, when was that? What point of the year?
June 25th.
Exactly.
Tomorrow.
A year ago.
Almost wow.
And Mackenzie Gore's starting tomorrow.
Yeah, Mackenzie Gore will be on the mound tomorrow. The 1 year anniversary of it.
Someone's got to just smash some home runs off of him.
Well, all I can say is that I can listen to that Orsillo call every time when he says, "Take that!" I love that.
Take that, says Manny Machado.
Yeah, Don Orsillo was fired. Profar's fired up, and he should be.
You know what's funny is I got a chance to listen to Don for the first time do the national game the other day on Saturday.
Right.
And how reserved he is doing the national game versus doing a regular game. Somebody hit a home run, and it was a big home run on Saturday, and he was just kind of like, and it's a home run. And
how does he do that? How does he turn it off?
I texted him immediately. I was like, yo, it's the first time I've ever heard you at a national game. I don't know how you're able to, like, switch it off like that. That's crazy.
The many different sides of Don Orsillo.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we got to get to break. On the other side, a little Daily Gambit and more Gwynn and Chris.
And so we do go into hour number 2 of Gwynn and Chris for a Tuesday. 3 o'clock is the time. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr. at Petco Park, home of the Padres. And tonight the Padres host once again the Washington Nationals. Thanks to Kevin Frandsen from the Nationals television broadcast team. Good stuff. Fun guy. And good breakdown. Look, the Nationals are happy with what they have. The Padres got what they wanted initially out of those trades. And I still think the Padres are in a better position overall than the Nationals. Scoreboard is all you need to say about that. Last night, though, scoreboard belonged to C.J. Abrams and to James Wood and to Josh Bell. 10-6 Washington. Tonight, Ryan Bergert, who's been good, Tony Gwynn Jr.
Really good.
1-0, 1.88 ERA. You can't ask for a lot better than that from basically a number 7 starter who's coming up and filling in for guys. I mean, he's giving you a really good game just about every time out. Trevor Williams, our old friend from Poway, right, Tony? Is he Poway?
Rancho Bernardo.
Okay. Oh, yes. Don't get them confused.
Yeah, come on now.
I know. Don't get them confused. Rancho Bernardo, Trevor Williams. Sure, he'll have a lot of friends in the stands tonight as he pitches for the Washington Nationals. Lineups I don't have yet. Don't know about you guys, but
Let me see.
I don't have one as of now. Some other things that we're going to get into the Daily Gambit in the next segment, but we have Tony for a little more time here. And Tony brought up an interesting thing. I don't know if anybody even knows this. I don't know if we've ever shared this much behind the scenes information.
I got a lineup for you.
Okay.
Oh, whoa.
Well, I'll tell you the behind the scenes thing, but first the lineup. That's important. Tony Gwynn Jr.
It is the same as yesterday. Insert Martin Maldonado instead of Diaz.
Yeah,
All
except Iglesias is at short tonight, which
Iglesias
means
is at short.
Xander gets the DH spot.
The DH is on a shuffle mode right now.
A little shuffle mode. Rise once again's bats cleanup. Almost hit 2 home runs last night as a cleanup hitter, but the Nats had something to say about that. All right.
I like the new lineup, even though it's only been in practice for 2 games.
You're happy with it.
It seems like Jackson's getting more. Ever since he came back from his concussion, 2 games, he's been hitting the ball really hard. And I think he likes being in that 2 spot right in between Manny and Fernando. I think that's a good spot
It matters where you put Jackson. He'll hit anywhere. I do like him at the 2 spot, though.
I think
Okay,
the jury,
thank you.
I think the jury is still out on whether this lineup is going to be something everybody likes. Let's be honest. They lose the next 7 games. No one's going to like the lineup.
Yeah.
I'm just saying right now, it's fine. Let's see what
I can only do 1 game at a time, Chris.
Yes, that's
It's a tough spot. I can see where it can be difficult, right? Because you're obviously trying to hit your best 3 guys early, right? Luis can flip-flop and be in one of your best 3 every once in a while, but he's also trying to maintain that left, right, or the right, left deal.
That's the thing I think too, Tony.
And he wants. I mean, I'm sure he would love to move Gavin to that 4 spot, but I don't know that you trust in Xander yet to be the 5-hole guy.
You're gonna drop Luis down all the way down to 6.
Luis doesn't quite profile to a 5-hole guy. You certainly don't. Again, you want to keep your 3 where it's at. And that's why I think he had Jackson in the 4 spot, because it gave Manny some pretty good protection. But at the same time, Jackson was kind of in a little bit of a rut there. So I can see why he is settled where he's settled.
I would say that right-left thing is more important than a lot of people expect and think.
It changes the way a bullpen can be
That's
used
right,
against you.
because I'll tell you, the team that seems to do the best job exposing it, hate to say and give any credit to the Dodgers, but they do it well.
Yep.
They bring all these lefties in. I don't know, every team has 4 lefties, but the Dodgers seem to bring in these guys, and that's who Sheets and Crony and Jackson are always hitting against.
Yeah,
and that's really not easy.
you're trying not to give them a lane that's easy to bring a lefty in.
That's
or,
right.
You know, from that standpoint. And so that's why they're going right, left, right, left, right. But because of the type of guys they have, it can be a little difficult. It's a good problem to have. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I can see why he settled where he settled.
All right, so here's the behind-the-scenes note. Often, I would say you guys more than me. And the reason is because I don't watch any sports live during the night.
Yeah.
I DVR everything. I tape it, watch it. Usually, I watch the Padres game. Well, last night I was at the game, so that's different. But like tonight's game, I'll go home after the show. I'll dinner and the whole thing. But I won't watch tonight's game till 10 o'clock or so.
That's crazy.
Well after it's over and done with. But I won't know the result because I won't go near my phone. But Tony and Scraby are on their phones, and often we send little story ideas to each other. Or Tony will see something that he thinks interesting. He'll send it to us.
I know where you're going with this.
You'll do something that's interesting. I don't do it very often, but sometimes. But anyway, I thought Tony had a good one last night.
He did, and he also notified me to the end of the game when he sent this because it came in as soon as the game
final
ended.
Catch was made.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, Tony, that must mean the game is over if he's sending me this text.
Well, so go through it, Scraby, and then play the.
We're real quick. Gavin Sheets and Xander Bogaerts flip-flopped. Did we say that? Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Tonight?
No, we did not.
Yes, but they did flip-flop. So Bogaerts is sixth
tonight,
and Sheets is fifth.
Thank you.
So Tony sent this post, and it was about Adam Silver, and it was the Club 520 podcast, and they actually asked like a really interesting question, and it was about what does the league do during a big trade like that. And here's what Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, said.
Misnomers, I think, out there is that I have the power to disapprove a trade.
Yeah.
I don't. I think the only what the league's role is, what happens is before the trade is known publicly, it gets called into the league office. Yeah. It's kind of old school. Both teams have to get on the phone, and lawyers and people in basketball operations literally line up the contract. So if somebody, make it up, is making $8 million, you have to ensure that the other team has $8 million of cap space in order to sign that player. A team will say, we want to set up a trade call. Both sides will be on the call. It's a little bit like anybody who's bought a home and there's a closing. Yeah. It's the closest thing where you got to make sure like you indeed have the title to the house, and there's been an inspection and there's a contract, all those things. So there's, in essence, a check.
Yeah, he goes on and on, but there's a checklist that they have to go through.
Well, the bottom line is the NBA does not make trades from the league office, which is something that people like you think.
Whoa, how did I get? What the heck?
Because you're the conspiracy guy.
Oh, I see. But
you think Luka Doncic was sent to the Doncic was sent to the Lakers by the league,
and then he also then thinks that Dallas was then promised, hey, if you make this trade with the
you'll
Lakers,
get the number one pick.
Get the number one
right?
Pick.
Yes, you think that. Here's what I thought when I saw the lead-in to your text last night, Tony. And it was something, the headline of it, or the was Adam Silver discusses something on Twitter or whatever it was. So I went to click on it. I thought what it was going to be was Adam Silver trying to defend SGA pushing off all the time. So I was pretty excited to hear what he was going to say about that. But evidently that's going to get through scot-free, the league office. But not that bothers me. Like, not that I'm going to, go.
Sure?
Yeah, it really doesn't seem like it.
Of course it bothers me, and it still bothers me
brought
today.
it up every single day since the finals have started.
I know I'm making fun of myself now. Of course, I think it bothers me. So I'm waiting for a resolution on that.
As much as it bothers you that SGA pushes off and no one calls it, it bothers me that you don't watch sports live, because I heard the other day about a nice little text chat between Adam and Ben Woods and Paul, and they text during the games. If I were to text you guys, well, Tony's working, number one, so I wouldn't want to bother him. But if I was to text Chris, I wouldn't get anything back.
You get crickets.
And then I would get something at
He
like
might be taping the game.
1:30 in the morning being like, good one, Scrabe.
I know. I told
he does respond hella late.
Well, I saw Tony's call of the Fernando Bruja last week. But I didn't see it till 12:30 at night. So when I was over, I texted Tony and because I said he did a great job and I felt he'd still be, driving home from LA. So I'd give him a little pick me up before he got home.
Can we
It
stop
was a
there?
help. It was definitely a help. I had the windows
see?
rolled down at the time, trying to stay awake as I was
got a little
coming through.
little compliment
Oceanside
came
there.
rolling in there
Yeah,
at
I needed it.
12:30. You didn't expect that.
Can we get your quick opinion, Tony? Because you had that scheduled weekend, and so you never got to talk about the Dave Roberts thing and him getting suspended for one game, like Mike Schill, Robert Suarez 3 games. What do you think?
Yeah. Okay. Well, my opinion on it
What? Yeah.
is as I don't think any of the hit by pitches to Toddy were intentional. However, I do think that it doesn't matter if a guy has been hit 3 times. It doesn't matter if the intent was right or intentional or not intentional. It was more within the Padres' right to protect their guy as they did. And then I think every action has a reaction. I think Schilt was more than within his right to come out of that dugout fuming, pointing at the other side.
Yeah.
And, if you've ever been in a big league dugout before, you know that once you start pointing into another team's dugout, they are then going to have a response of their own. And so I think everything that happened thereafter was about right. It's what is usually how it goes. Yeah, I can't think of a time that I've ever been in a big league dugout, regardless of whether my side was in the right or wrong. If someone was pointing in the dugout at the manager, it's going to cause some
matter.
type of reaction.
No
It
question.
doesn't really matter, right?
No, I remember a game where some kid ran into the dugout from second base and tried to tackle me sitting in the dugout because we were just totally ragging on this guy for some reason.
Were you a player?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is when you were at state. Okay,
all
yeah.
right.
Yeah, there was some guy in the other team. It was early I don't even think it was a real game. I think it was a practice game or something. And we were just on this guy for some reason. Well, who has the loudest voice? I do.
Yeah.
So the guy thought it was me leading the charge. So he came into the dugout and we got a talking to from the higher ups, coaches and et cetera.
Deets.
Yes, and others. But don't ever let that happen again without some real consequences.
Right.
Like we kind of let it go. It was a pushing and shoving and kind of got the guy out of there. And we were like, no. You don't let somebody ever come into your dugout like that.
So yeah, I thought I was, how long ago was it that we'd had conversations about quote unquote Padres not protecting their guys or doing the thing that everybody thought they should be doing in terms of our guys getting hit and nothing happened.
Yeah. Did you think Dave Roberts maybe should have at least got an extra game for actually making contact with Mike Schilt, which I thought crossed the line?
I think if Mike was an umpire, then yeah, I think he would have been warranted another game. But I don't know that there's any rule on bumping another coach or player that would automatically get you to an extra game suspension.
I think we need a pay-per-view of Dave Roberts versus Mike Schilt. I think Mike Schilt would win.
I think we would be highly disappointed if we
just circle each other.
Let's be honest. When we get Jake Paul against Mike Tyson, there's no fighting. Right. So I don't think you're going to get much with Mike Schilt and Dave Roberts, to be honest with you.
I'll take Mike Schilt fiery. As we said yesterday, there's no lack of fire in Mike Schilt.
Here's the other thing is I thought, hey, it was real big dog. This is allegedly because we don't know if anything was done intentionally or not, gentlemen. But I thought it was big dog, man. He spotted up Ohtani twice. Like, hey, man. And I got into it with Jerry after this a little bit because he was, he was trying to.
Oh, Jerry Hairston, yes. He was very was very upset that the Padres would ever go near Ohtani.
Right.
Yes.
And it wasn't just that. He was sensationalizing it, right? He was like, you're supposed to go below the waist. And I was like, hold up. I don't think any of the Toddies were below the waist.
No.
Are we keeping the same rules here? And then I think he thought about it. He was like, okay.
He didn't pull his tweet back. I'll tell you that.
He couldn't. He couldn't at that point.
Yeah.
He couldn't. It's already out there now. You screenshot it and everything. But yeah, man, I think ultimately that is how it's supposed to go. Kudos to Toddy and Ohtani, quite frankly, because they could have certainly escalated this to where we would for sure be having something and pop off in August. I think the way they handled it ultimately is why there's a chance we can just have a regular series.
I
when
hope
we
so.
get to August.
Yeah, you hope by August that we don't feel like anybody needs to do one more thing.
Otani is like, he's the leader. I mean, he's the leader of that organization. He
Oh,
told
real
everyone
quick.
stay in the dugout,
But
and everybody
he's
did.
even taken he's taken some heat from that, though.
He did take
People
some
who
heat for
said,
that.
you know, come on, man, you're going to just allow that to happen and try to go to first base and not do anything. I mean, there's people
made
that
the right
really wanted
choice.
it. I'm not giving you a break.
I know,
I'm telling
I
you
know,
what
I know.
people are saying.
That's
Some
crazy.
people.
Real quick, Schulte, for clarification, a partner kind of gave me this little tidbit. Schulte's suspension was automatic because of Suarez is getting tossed
Yeah.
after Warring.
Oh,
Yes, it wasn't
So
because he
technically-
stormed the
So
field.
technically,
He didn't
Dave
get
Roberts
suspended
did
for
get
the
an
dust
extra. So Dave
Right.
Roberts did get an extra game in a
There you
sense
go.
because he got one for the dust up and Schilt got none.
Yes, and
Schilt
then
got
go.
his one. Baseball
Well, the-
should have been clear about that, to be honest, so that we understood because I just felt they gave him the same suspension. And frankly, you know, because I'm
Chris,
paid by the
you-
Padres, I thought that Dave Roberts deserved more.
Chris, you do realize we're talking about Major League Baseball. You said
I
they should
know.
have clarified. Like, we
I
can't even get them to turn their mics on.
Stupid
to
umpire.
tell- Although, I will say in L.A., there was one incident
He did.
that he turned his mic on, and I was like,
he almost
yo.
fell out of the booth. Yeah.
I was like, great. I think it was Marvin. Was it Hudson?
Marvin
It was
Hudson.
Marvin
He
Hudson.
actually explained something that was happening.
I thought it was funny last night. I love when Jesse like relays to us what the umpire is doing because he couldn't like make a call whether or not that James Wood home run was actually a home run, and so he did this whole thing. He's like the umpire was like just put his hands in the air, and then
I
he
think
started
that's one
pointing
of
this
Jesse's
way.
superpowers, honestly, is when he's describing umpire behavior. I mean, and I think part of it's because he has to rely on them sometimes to make the call. Like the ball's in the
Absolutely.
air,
Absolutely.
he's waiting to see what the umpire's doing, and he's kind of throwing both hands up. He doesn't really know, and then he's trying to convince everybody, no, it's fair. Well, we saw it at the pole. It should be fair. It shouldn't even be a question.
That
But,
is
you
an
know.
embarrassing spot to be where everyone in the stadium's like, what are you doing, dude?
Speaking of umpires, Scraby's favorite, Doug Weddings, was on the behind the plate last night.
I realized that he was behind the
I
plate,
have
and I
something
tweeted Doug Weddings instead of Eddings because it auto-corrected me.
Oh, it
Hey,
corrected?
I got-
is that why you
Yes.
correct? Okay.
I
thought
got
you
some-
meant something
I
by
got
that.
some surprising news for you
Oh,
this year.
What you got?
Doug is actually good, at least according to the numbers. He didn't seem that good yesterday, but he's like actually good
Doing all right.
according to the numbers.
wow. Not according to his approaching
Not according
everyone.
to the game I watched last night, but you know, that's neither here or there.
All right, we got to go to break.
All right,
All
we'll
right,
go to
let's
break.
go to break.
Tony, great job. Great stuff. We'll see you back for the we got the Fantabulous Game Show and we
Yep.
got the Big Five. In the meantime, we'll check some traffic here on Gwynn and Chris. Means we got a few minutes left to do today's Daily Gambit. Gotta make way at the bottom of the hour for the Fantabulous Sports Game Show. Probably got people starting to tune in early for that now. You know what I mean? They don't want to make sure they don't want to miss that on Tuesdays at 3:35 to hear the weekly beating that Tony gives you on the Fantabulous Sports Game Show.
I don't like you right now.
Well, we'll see if you can do something about that then when we play in a few minutes. But right now we got some games to look at tonight. Scrabe, let's hit it.
Okay, let's just go into the bets since we're so far behind on
Yeah,
time.
we can give last night's record.
It was only 4 bets.
Yeah, it was quick. You went 3-1. I went 2-2.
Okay.
The only difference was you picked the Cardinals and I picked the Cubs.
Correct. And the Cardinals crushed.
They
Cubs.
did. Yeah. All right, so tonight we got the Padres and Nats. 8.5 runs for this one. Got our guy Trevor Williams. We got our guy Ryan Bergert. Last night, the T teams went way over that.
I'm
Scrape,
going
what do you
over.
think? Tonight, you're going under.
Over.
Over again. Under has been the way to go. I'll stay under again. Dodgers 1.5 at the Rockies.
Oh, God.
Seems like a mismatch, but the Rockies have been better. But are they good enough to beat the Dodgers? No, the Dodgers. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dodgers, too.
How about 12 runs over-under for that game? It's obviously at Coors Field. 12 runs. What do you think here? Now,
I think
the Rockies
the
have not been
Dodgers
scoring.
I think the Dodgers score 12 runs on their own. So over.
So over. You're going to be surprised with this. I'm going to go under. The Rockies don't score this year. Like they lose at home normally 8-2.
It's kind of crazy.
So I'll say under. Who has more strikeouts tonight? This is a good one. Tarek Skubal against the A's or Garrett Crochet at the Angels?
Ooh.
I'm going to go Skubal because I like him better. I don't know him, but I root for him way more than I root for Crochet.
Yeah,
whose attitude last year as a White Stock still carries over in my
stock?
White Stock, yes. White Stocking.
Is that a singular of this?
Something like that. But anyway, yes, when he was there, he had some things that rubbed me the wrong way. So
when he said that he needed a fully guaranteed contract in order to be traded to play in the playoffs, that's what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people had issues with that.
Right. So I'm going to go Skubal.
Crochet could strike some guys out, though.
Well,
I'm going to go Crochet.
Okay. Justin Verlander returns tonight for the Gigantes off the injured list. 5 1/3 innings against the Marlins. Over under.
So it's over under 16 outs?
Yeah.
Under.
He's going under, I can tell you that for sure. I think he could pitch 5 no-hit innings, and they would take him out of the game.
Probably.
LA Sparks -5 at Chicago Sky. Obviously, a little WNBA action. Now, the Sky has not been doing well, the Angel Reese Club. Let's see. The Sky, let me just get an update. 3-10, but the Sparks are not a lot better. They're 4-10. So I don't know where you go here. You get 5 points if you take Chicago.
How many people are waiting for autographs outside?
For Kelsey Plum or for the Angel Reese?
Kelsey Plum.
There's a big brouhaha right now because what's her name? Joy Taylor, Jason Taylor's sister.
Yep.
Somewhere she said that
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark's only famous because Angel Reese gave her the finger, in the championship.
Yeah, the ring
that
finger.
made Caitlin Clark famous. That's upset all the Caitlin Clark people who now think Angel Reese is only famous because she's connected to Caitlin Clark.
There's
and here we
so
go
much
again.
Stuff that we don't need to worry about.
These two players, it's you don't have to take a side.
Stop pitting them against each other.
It's incredible, right?
That is great. Well, this is Joy Taylor. I mean, if she's the one who said it, then it's her fault for starting it.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it's starting again. Last year was the Rookie of the Year, and if you picked the wrong one, man, you were just a terrible human being.
Yeah, I do remember that.
How can you not appreciate what Angel Reese is doing? How can you not go for Caitlin Clark? And then it was like, well, you're racist if you're picking the other one. Like, come on.
It got weird. It definitely got really weird. It wasn't about the sport anymore.
No, or these kids.
I'm gonna go with the Sparks.
After all that, you'll take the Sparks -5. I'll take Angel Reese here and the Cubs, not the Cubs. Chicago +5. All right, Caitlin Clark, she finishes it up. 19.5 points tonight for her at Seattle. Caitlin Clark's been ice cold. Last 2 games, 1 for 17 from the arc. So she rectifies that tonight. Caitlin Clark was over.
I'll go over too.
Okay. All right, let's get to a break, and then because it's time for our game show, and everybody get your pencils and scorecards ready. It's next.
Ben and Wood.
All right, it's time for the Beaver Nuggets. So the story is somehow Buc-ee's got brought up. I think Frank brought it up.
Yes.
And it's a rest stop / mall / entertainment zone, super center. And someone said on the chat yesterday that they have like 100. They went to one with like 100 gas pumps, which is a lot, I guess. But while we were talking about this, Sam Levitt was in New York listening, and he goes, "Put me on, put me on, put me on." And so we put him on. and he's talking about how much he loves Buc-ee's. And so we got into the conversation, and it ended up being about the Beaver Nuggets. And so I had to order them because I find the name Beaver Nuggets very gross. I find it gross. But we're going to go with this. It's kind of like a Cheeto / a corn pop.
It's like a cheese doodle.
A cheese doodle. And we're going to eat them right now. I don't think these are bad, but here we go. I like it. It tastes like a corn pop.
I was going to say it tastes like a waffle, really.
It does kind of taste like a waffle. You know what? I'm in. These are good.
Yeah, I'm not.
You want another one?
No, I don't want another one. But yeah, I mean, it tastes like a waffle, like a waffle with syrup on it.
It's pretty good. I gotta say, I'm not hating these at all. Actually, they're very good. I like this. The waffle is a perfect explanation. If you've ever had, I'm sorry, I'm talking on the microphone with food in my mouth. But if you've ever had a what is it? A Lay's potato chip that's waffle flavor. It's kind of like that. Sad Fryer says, "Are they cheesy?" No, they're not cheesy at all. Actually, they're sweet.
No, it's like a hard waffle with syrup on it, with dried encrusted syrup on it.
Now I don't exactly know what the puff is. It could be just fake something.
Most likely. I mean,
it's like caramel a little bit too. All right, I gotta stop eating these because I will eat the whole bag. I love these things. I'm gonna leave them here though because I will eat this if I go home. It's just gonna be a bunch of beaver nuggets in my bed as I sleepwalk or something like that. All right, it's time for the beaver nuggets. So the story is somehow Buc-ee's got brought up. I think Frank brought it up.
Yes.
And it's a rest stop / mall / entertainment zone, super center. And someone said on the chat yesterday that they have like 100. They went to one with like 100 gas pumps, which is a lot, I guess. But while we were talking about this, Sam Levitt was in New York listening, and he goes, "Put me on, put me on, put me on." And so we put him on, and he's talking about how much he loves Buc-ee's. And so we got into the conversation, and it ended up being about the Beaver Nuggets. And so I had to order them because I find the name Beaver Nuggets very gross. I find it gross. But we're going to go with this. It's kind of like a Cheeto / a corn pop.
It's like a cheese doodle.
A cheese doodle. And we're going to eat them right now. I don't think these are bad, but here we go. I like it. It tastes like a corn pop.
I was going to say it tastes like a waffle, really.
It does kind of taste like a waffle. You know what? I'm in. These are good.
Yeah, I'm not.
You want another one?
No, I don't want another one. But yeah, I mean, it tastes like a waffle, like a waffle with syrup on it.
It's pretty good. I gotta say, I'm not hating these at all. Actually, they're very good. I like this. The waffle is a perfect explanation. If you've ever had, I'm sorry, I'm talking on the microphone with food in my mouth. But if you've ever had a what is it? A Lay's potato chip that's waffle flavor. It's kind of like that. Sad Fryer says, "Are they cheesy?" No, they're not cheesy at all. Actually, they're sweet.
No, it's like a hard waffle with syrup on it, with dried encrusted syrup on it.
Now I don't exactly know what the puff is. It could be just fake something.
Most likely. I mean,
it's like caramel a little bit too. All right, I gotta stop eating these because I will eat the whole bag. I love these things. I'm gonna leave them here though because I will eat this if I go home. It's just gonna be a bunch of beaver nuggets in my bed as I sleep.
Padres have dropped 8 of their last 12. Don't look now. Hasn't been a great stretch. How about the bullpen? The bullpen is like the lockdown part of our team, Scraby.
I know.
Last 12 games, bullpen ERA 5.54. Now, I understand there's stretches, right, that everybody has, but it's a little troubling. Last night, the bullpen was not good. Peralta got wrecked. I think it was 5 hits in like 1 inning, and then Yuki came in there and serving him up. A couple of home runs, and game got away. I mean, Fernando hits that home run in the 9th inning. Had the bullpen done hits thing, it could have been a totally different deal. But you can't count on. I get it. The bullpen's not going to go 0.0 all season like we thought. But the bullpen, along with everything else, has not been great lately. The Padres have a losing record this month, 10-12. It's about the same record this month as the Rockies have. Just saying. Got to pick this up a little bit.
How many games have the Rockies won
this month?
Yeah.
Well, now you're going to make me look it up, but it's close. I mean, the Rockies only won like 3 games before this month.
That is true.
They didn't have very many coming in. They finished May with the Rockies were 9-49.
Oof.
And they are now 18-60. So they're 9-11.
Wow.
It's about the same.
You do not want to be with the Rockies.
Yes, right. You don't want anybody saying, we got about the same record as the Rockies lately.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Don't want to hear that.
I don't like that. But Brian Hoeing is back, which is good. We saw him and
last night.
He can help the bullpen.
All right, let's get rolling here with that ball club tonight, 6:40. Tony will have the call, but right now Tony's studying because after we check some traffic, it's time for the day's Fantabulous Sports Game Show.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Problems along the 805 on the southbound side past Telegraph Canyon. Accident blocking the slow lane. And on the northbound side past E Street. Crash blocking the HOV lane. If you're on the coastline northbound 5 near the 78, watch out for some debris across lanes. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all of their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, all you beautiful people out there, it's time to play one of our favorite games of the week.
All right.
We like to call it...
I'm going to go Chris's Fantabulous Sports Game Show.
It starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, searching high and wide here today for a category that will hopefully please our runner-up in this game.
Me?
That's you. Yeah, Matt Scravy. Tony Gwynn is the other contestant in the Fantabulous Sports Game Show. As you know, if you follow this particular game, Tony Gwynn usually wins.
Lots of compliments about your topic last week. They thought that was really creative, and I said, I don't care.
Great
it was
topic.
hard. It was
great topic last week.
It was something to do with states
and
that
vowels.
were home to champions. Oh, vowels, too.
Yes,
Yeah, we did
remember
that.
Yeah, that was legit.
Edmonton Oilers was a big answer last week. That's all I know because it's both Edmonton and Oilers started with a vowel.
It was a huge answer.
All right, we're going to be a little more simple today, but we are going off the sports board today.
Uh-oh.
Scraby, did you like playing with Hot Wheels growing up? Matchbox cars, that kind of thing?
No. I actually did not.
You did not?
all.
So maybe this isn't going to be a category for you.
At all is a little much. I would say I played with them, but barely.
I think almost every guy
I played with them. They didn't last long though.
No,
like
me
I'd have
neither.
it, and they'd lose them pieces.
Yeah.
And
No, I don't have
I had like the loop that you would do.
I like the loop. The loop was good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I just think most guys, man, a lot of women too, just kind of are into cars. So today's category, very simple, according to Motor Trend magazine, Car and Driver, rating sales and popularity and buzz and everything else. want you guys to name the top 25 most popular car brands in the United States of
So
America.
we have to name make and model.
That's
no
good.
model, just make.
Just make.
You
Okay,
don't
about to
need
say.
you don't need GT 300 or SE Coupe or any. Just give me the company that makes them.
There's 25 companies that make
There's
cars?
a lot more than that. There's a lot more than that. So you're going to give me the top 25 make. Yeah, model is not what you need, or year, or any of that. Just give me the most popular car. Why do you hate? Oh, you hate the pen.
It doesn't work.
He's got.
It's
you know what?
Brand new pen.
All right, let me just tell you something, Tony. Off the beaten thing. He forgets to bring a pen for this game every week.
So I made a
and
point.
I have to give him a pen.
So I made a point to bring my own pen.
And guess where I'm going right now?
To get
off
me a pen.
camera to get Scraby another pen.
I
Hang
don't
on.
like it.
Talk to the people, Scraby.
Well, you know, I
Scrape.
actually do like this category. Literally didn't know that there was 25 automakers in the world.
So it sounds like you might be in trouble then.
Yeah. Is it World, Chris? Oh, it's all the way under the table.
Well, this could be a battle just getting the pen set up. Yes, these can be foreign companies. Is that what you're asking? Yes,
Yeah,
it's not just American made.
Okay.
It's any company that makes car brands. Most popular in the United States. Top 25, first person to 13 wins, or if you miss 3, you strike out and you lose. And Tony won last week, so Scraby, go.
I'll go first.
You're first. What you got?
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen is, according to this list anyway, number 12. That is correct. Scraby's on the board. That's how it works. All right, Tony Gwynn Jr., your turn.
Toyota.
Number 1, Toyota.
Wow.
On top. Toyota. Very popular car brand in the United States. Again, Motor Trend, Car and Driver. I don't even know that this is based solely on sales. It's a little bit of everything factored in. So if you have a complaint out there where your favorite car brand winds up, take it up with them. I'm just don't be calling into me. All right, Scraby, 1-1.
Let's just
What
go
you got?
Ford.
Ford's number 2. So you guys are off to a good start here. 2-1. Scraby leads. Tony Gwynn Jr. Popular car brands in the U.S.
General Motors.
GM. All right. Is GMC General Motors Corporation?
Yes,
yeah.
that
Okay.
works.
There. I was looking for it. I'm like, I don't have it, but that's number 11. GMC General Motors Corporation. Correct. I know. I got a little nervous for a second. I was like, how are they not there? But
Chris is like, this list.
I know. It's like, don't let me down. All right. 2-2. Scraby's up.
I'll take another multi-billion-dollar corporation in Honda.
I think they all are. Honda's number 4, way up there on the list. So 3-2 in favor of Scraby, and it is Tony Gwynn Jr.'s turn. We're naming popular car brands.
How about Hyundai?
Hyundai. Hyundai is gonna be number 7. There it is. I didn't see it for a minute. I know. I thought it'd be lower. I was looking at the bottom of the list, and I had way up there. And, oh wow, number 7, Hyundai. I was surprised by the where that came in. So, yep, we're tied at 3. Tony's safe, and it's up to Scraby now.
Yeah.
Popular car brands in the United States. What you got, Scrabe?
Before I got this most recent car, I always drove hand-me-downs. And
All
one
right.
of the cars I drove was a 1997 Nissan Maxima.
Nissans are good. Correct. That's number 5 on the list. So you guys have named 1, 2, 4, and 5. Number 3 is available, as is number 6, and many others. Does anybody old enough to remember when Nissan cars were not called Nissan? They were called something completely different. It started with an S, and now it's one of these things where it just escaped my mind.
Let me Google it.
Nissan's original
old name.
It was, oh, goodness.
Datsun.
Datsun.
Yeah,
It didn't even start with an S.
I do remember
Started
Datsun.
with
I
a
did
D.
not know that.
Yeah, Datsun
My
became
parents had a
Nissan.
Datsun.
Yeah, Datsun
before I
became
was
Nissan.
around.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Scraby leads 4-3. Tony, you're up. Top 25 most popular car brands in the United States of America.
How about let's go a little more luxurious. How about a little BMW?
Yeah, let's get a little luxury. Number 13, BMW. That's correct. They're on the list. Bavarian Motor Works, I believe that stands
That
for.
is, yes.
I'm surprised I even know that. We're tied at 4, and we're up to Scraby.
I'm going to go with Mercedes.
Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz. Fine German engineering there. Number 15 on the list. Mercedes-Benz. Give Scraby a 5-4 lead. 9 down, 16 to go. Tony, you guys are rolling through these so far.
How about Nissan?
Nissan is going to cost you because we already
you
said
say
it.
Nissan?
Yeah, we said
Remember my
Datsun is
97
Nissan.
Maxima?
Oh, you sure did. You threw me off with the Datsun. We should have been looking for the other name. Stupid.
Tony's got a strike. Scraby had to scramble to find the buzzer there. He wasn't expecting
what?
it. Yeah.
All right.
This happened last week, by the way, and Tony still rallied to win.
Yeah,
So
he did.
we'll see what happens here today. But Scraby, yeah, this puts you in a nice position. You're up 5-4, and it's your turn.
I'm gonna go with something maybe a little off the beaten path.
Subaru, number 10, top 10, Subaru.
Trying to think of every car of people I know that they drive.
Give Scraby a 6-4 lead. Tony now with a strike goes back to work here to shake off a
Mazda.
a bad
Ooh.
guess. He comes right back
Didn't
with
even think
Mazda
of
number
that
14. That is right on the list. You guys are good. You guys have hit most of the first 14, only one of the second 11 out of the top 25. So I'm just giving you a little idea. Number 3, 6, 8, 9 are available. And then the rest are lower numbers. Scraby leads 6-5, 14 left. Top 25 most popular car brands in the United States. Scraby came into the game not even knowing that there were that many car brands.
Now all of a sudden I know.
And now he knows, but can he think of one now that he's got the lead here and the pressure starts to grow a little bit?
I'm
We get
sorry if
later
you-
in the game.
I'm sorry if you own one of these, but I've always thought they're weird looking. Saab.
Saab. Yeah, you know who owned a Saab when I met her?
Your wife
My
did?
wife had a Saab. It was a yellow Saab, and she called it Sabrina. And
Sabrina the Saab.
yeah. You can take it up with her next time you talk to her. But Saab is not one of the top 25 most popular car models.
Oh my goodness.
He
Saab
talked
is
you right
not
into that. Took
in
you on out.
there. Saab doesn't make it. There's a buzzer for the
That
Saab.
hurts.
Yeah, I think Saabs are hard to find now.
I don't know
Because Lori and I were even talking about that a little while ago. We're like, I haven't seen too many Saabs these days. So not in the top 25. We're tied one strike apiece now.
Oh.
Tony can get back even in the game if he gets one here. Tony.
How about Tesla?
Tesla, yes, that's a good
I
one.
was gonna say, but I wasn't sure.
You
Why
didn't
did you
think
say it
Tesla
like
would
that?
make? Yeah, why did you?
That's how he talks.
Oh,
Who,
wow.
Elon?
Elon Musk on the show.
That's a really good. I didn't know if that's what you're going for. That's pretty good, Tony.
Wasn't
Like,
bad.
Tesla, of course.
You know what? Let's cancel the game and let Tony just do Elon
Yes,
Musk the next
please.
10 minutes.
Please.
I think that would be better entertainment.
At first, I thought it was Shaq, but then I realized
Tesla is
I
definitely
guess
on
he
there.
could double as Shaq too, huh?
Pretty good, Tony. All right,
if we're
Amanda
doing
Bates,
pizza companies, it would have been Shaq.
we're tied at 6 with one strike apiece, so the game is back dead even. 13 correct answers remaining. Scrabe, you need one here.
Jeep?
Jeep's in there. Yes, very good. Number 6, Jeep.
I don't
Jeep
like
is
you,
there.
Scrabe.
Very good. Scraby's got 2, 4, 5, and 6. Tony's got 1, 7, 11, and on down the line. Anyway, Scraby leads 7-6. We're more than halfway home on the most popular car brands in the United States. Again, according to Car and Driver, Motor Trend, their research and sales and everything that they do. Don't complain to me. Tony, there's probably a
Did you know that
probably a
there's this
Saab
car?
owner out there right now that's like, get out of here.
How about the Stellantis?
I'm sorry?
I don't even know what that is. What'd you say?
Well, it might not be on there then. I'm just naming a car. Stellantis.
Stellantis. Yeah, I can't even dignify that with a response. I have to.
I've never heard of a Stellantis.
Man, Gesundheit, Tony.
Did you mean praying mantis?
I know. Somebody knows what that is, but I don't.
I gotta Google
So that is strike
Stellantis
2
after
for
this.
Tony. Scraby again with a 7-6 lead, and it's your turn, Scrabe.
Stellanis.
That must be something that only ball players find out about.
No.
I've never even heard of it.
Lantis.
Really?
Sorry.
I'm gonna have to look at it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up. There are some very popular ones still remaining. I'm just saying, you guys are probably
I know
you might
one.
be making it a little more difficult on yourself. These are really popular car brands that you haven't guessed yet.
This one I should have guessed
Scraby.
early.
Okay. Kia is number 8. That is
Isn't
correct.
a Kia a Hyundai?
Well, you already guessed Hyundai.
Yeah.
Right. So how is
No,
he guessing
Hyundai and
Kia?
Kia are 7 and 8
It
on
would
this
be like
list,
how
so-
Mercedes-Benz is a part of Daimler Chrysler.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, whatever it is. Tony, good try, but yeah, no. Again, don't complain to me. I just put the list. I just wrote the list down.
You know,
All right. How about Lexus?
Lexus, very
Ooh,
good,
that's a
Tony.
good
Staying
one.
in the hunt there. Number 16, Lexus
didn't
is
even
in
think
there.
about that.
Just below Mercedes-Benz
As
is
one of
the
my friends
Lexus.
says Lexus are just overpriced Toyotas, but I like Lexus.
Lexus and
Lexi.
Toyotas are almost the same part, or are the same parts. I think they're just like better.
They're
or
better
the
parts.
Better, yeah,
better
brand of
yes,
parts,
yes.
but it's the same thing. Anyway,
better metal.
no, I know what you mean because I owned a lot of Lexuses, and the Toyota people were like, "You should just get a Toyota." And I said I wanted the prestige of a Lexus. Anyway, 7-8-2-7. Scraby, you're up. 10 left.
What about Cadillac?
Cadillac still in there. Number 23. Cadillac squeezing in, not high on the list.
23 is a lot lower than I thought.
I bet you Cadillac used to be a little higher than that. I think Cadillac's fallen over the years, but it's a correct answer. Puts you up 9-7 with 9 to go. And Tony with 2 strikes. He's on the doorstep here. He needs to respond correctly.
How about Land Rover?
Land Rover. Interesting. Yes. It's number 26.
Oh,
oh,
really?
Steve, right 3.
Wow.
Scraby is the winner today.
Has never happened to me before. I got some more.
Well, there's 10 that you didn't get, or 9 that you guys didn't guess.
Porsche?
So. Porsche
I didn't
also
even
did
think
not
about
make
that.
it. Porsche
Really?
is 28.
What about Fiat?
Fiat, no. Way on. Fiat Fix It Again, Tony, they used to call those.
Did we say Dodge?
We didn't say Dodge.
Is it on the list?
It is. Here, I'm
What
gonna
about Ferrari?
Ferrari did not make the list.
Come on, if Porsche ain't on it, Ferrari definitely ain't.
No,
Yeah, that's
Ferrari.
true.
All right,
What
here's
about Puget?
Yeah, you got Peugeot, you mean?
Oh, sure.
Peugeot, yeah. Here's
Puget. I am not classy enough to call Puget.
Puget. Here's what you guys didn't name. Number 3, Chevrolet.
Oh my
God.
goodness.
Yeah, Steve Garvey would
I
not be
literally
happy
have
with
a
you there.
Chevy Impala and did
Yeah.
not think about that.
Number 9 is Ram Trucks.
Okay.
All right.
That's
Isn't that
Dodge,
Do-
though.
That's Dodge.
Yeah, well, again, it got separate in this list. And again, don't complain to me. I'm just writing down the list. Number 14, Mazda. Or wait, Mazda was listed
I said
twice.
Mazda.
No, you did. Okay, Mazda's good. Let's see, 19, Audi.
Oh,
Number 20, there's still some Oldsmobile.
Acura?
There's some Oldsmobile people out there. Gotta have a Buick. Number 20, Buick. Number 21, Acura. You just said.
Acura's really nice.
Number 22, a lot of people like this. I don't. A Volvo.
I haven't even
Isn't that
thought-
Volkswagen?
No,
Volvo, no,
Volvo
that's
and
different than
Volkswagen are
Volkswagen.
different.
Chrysler, which I think you guys connected somewhere, is listed as 24. Number 25, Mitsubishi.
Oh,
Wow.
Final one, Land Rover, Lincoln, Porsche,
The
Infiniti,
Eclipse.
Genesis, Mini, Maserati, Alfa Romeo, Jaguar, just off the list.
what about Lotus?
Jaguars.
If I didn't name you, you're not
you
there.
didn't make the list.
You didn't make it.
All
That's
right.
it. All right. Well, Scraby, you're a
Wow.
champion today. Take us to break, buddy. Good job.
Chris versus the fans is up next. 833-288-0973. Get in line, everybody.
Padres.
will be ready to go. Game 2 of the series. And Jesse Agler, Tony Gwynn Jr. will have the call for you. Right here on 97.3 The Fan, Sam Levitt's pregame show precedes that. And saw Sam last night out at the ballpark. Saw a bunch of people. Well, Sam's
starstruck, huh?
Pretty much. I am when I see Sammy. Padres went down, though, 10-6 last night on the Fernando bobblehead night. Fernando did hit a 3-run homer. Not everybody saw it, though, I must tell you. With 2 outs in the ninth, many of the people had already gone home.
Can I say that I turned off the game?
Are you among those who did not see
I turned off the
homer?
game and went on with my day, and then I saw the pop-up on my phone. I hit a 3-run homer.
Yeah, the Padres don't hit a lot of 3-run homers. You know, we talk about this, Greg. That was their 5th of the year. Just by way of comparison, the Dodgers have 22 3-run homers this year. Padres still without the grand slam. I mean, come on, we can't make it through the whole season. We are still, at least one time in our, existence, we were Slam Diego.
Yeah,
we don't have a slam this year.
I'm more nervous with the bases loaded than with the bases empty.
We have 72 plate appearances this year with the bases loaded. So 0 for 72 in terms of the home run situation. Ryan Burgert starts tonight against Trevor Williams, the San Diegan from Rancho Bernardo High School. Tatis, Merrill, Machado, Arai, Sheets, Bogarts, Cronenworth, Iglesias at short tonight. Maldonado behind the dish. Nationals lineup not released yet.
Uh-oh.
So who knows? Maybe there's some shenanigans there.
CJ Abrams at 7 Mile Casino again?
He might have been. I don't know. Yes, he is. He's done a few things that youngsters do.
Yeah, of course.
Let's be honest about
that. I mean, he's 20, 3, 4?
Yeah, he's older than James Wood, though.
Yeah,
like he's ancient compared to James Wood, who's 22. Incredible, that kid.
Although 24 for CJ Abrams.
Although, if James Wood's ball is 5 feet to the right, it's a foul ball. And, the game's, it might have been a different finish. I mean, certain nights, things just don't go for you. And I thought last night was one of those.
Yeah.
Padres hit a lot of balls squarely that did not result in anything. Hopefully tonight they keep that going. And, they got to get a win tonight, obviously. There are a couple of NBA trades that have just been coming down today. And we're not big on this, but I think it's, worth mentioning when the names are such as this. Kristaps Porzingis, Celtics just sent him to the Nets. Don't ask me to tell you what they got back. It's so many trades and complications and picks and protected this, protected that. You got to be an NBA savant to figure all that out. But I know that Porzingis is going to the Nets. I know that Drew Holiday, another Celtics stalwart player, is going to Portland. Now, apparently the Celtics are just going to retool the whole thing because remember, Jason Tatum's out for all of next season with the torn Achilles. So, I'm sure that the Celtics have something in mind here, but for the time being, they're shedding people. And today it's Porzingis and it's Drew Holiday. The Pelicans have acquired former Warrior Jordan Poole from the Wizards. Jordan Poole can score, but he doesn't have a thought in his mind about how to win a game. He just doesn't.
Seems like a problem, Chris.
Does to me. It's why the Warriors got rid of him. And he's been in Washington, and how many games has he won? But he scores 35 points. He can do that. Anyway, good luck to the Pelicans there, who still have Zion on the premises somewhere. Kevin Durant is a Rocket. We know this. That was yesterday or the day before.
That was like the weekend.
Well, we're only Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, we are.
If you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's authentic Mediterranean cuisine, Coronado, La Jolla, dining, takeout. Visit spiroscuisine.com. Funny, I look over here and there's a bunch of people online. Why would that be? They want to play Chris versus the fans.
If If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the Fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, the prize for today. You have to make it through. No, those are the rules. You will be qualified for a chance to win the grand prize. A spa and pool getaway at Resorts World Las Vegas, home of the largest elevated pool complex on the Strip. You will receive a 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas. Dine poolside at one of the 5 unique pool experiences and experience the ultimate in relaxation and wellness at Awana Spa, one of the largest co-ed spa facilities in Las Vegas. To book your summer stay, please visit rwlasvegas.com. Now, the rules, you have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get the question wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know, and you will get that question for free today.
By the way, I put the over-under of total hours you, Matt Scraby, have spent on the premises of a spa. I put the over-under total hours for you at 4.5 for your life. Over or under?
Under.
Here's what I don't like about a spa, and this is crazy, but it's me. I don't like walking around in one of those terry cloth robes. They give me the willies. Robes, they never stay tied. I just don't feel comfortable in a robe. And I don't think if you're not comfortable in a robe, you can't spend a lot of time in a spa.
I'm not comfortable in a robe.
No.
I mean, Mudcat would love the spa.
Mudcat's a robe guy?
He is.
I don't get robes.
They're weird.
How do you keep them tied? They never stay tied.
Well, I've
never worn a robe that stays tied. And when they become untied, things come out that you don't necessarily want popping out.
Okay.
That's why I don't like a robe.
Well, you're not. I don't think you're actually supposed to wear it.
Well, you're not
fully naked underneath.
Well, don't most people? I mean, what else would you wear a robe?
See, growing up, my mom wore
a robe over, sweater and jeans.
My mom wore a robe, but it was over her pajamas because it was cold in the morning.
Yes, but you don't wear pajamas when you're at the spa.
Okay.
When you're at the spa, you wear the robe only, which is why I don't like being at the spa. We're taking up valuable time on the show, but this is important.
It's okay.
All right.
Let's go to our first contestant. One time I had a friend she was going through cosmetology school, and she was going to be someone who does spa things, and she needed a guy for her project, and so
you
I went in there
volunteered.
For that. So 2 hours is the total time I've been in the spa.
in the spa. I just can't imagine you and I just being very comfortable at a spa.
Oh, if they
just doesn't seem like it would work
at this point in time in my life, I think I would love it. I'd probably fall asleep. A little aromatherapy.
Not with a robe
candles.
on, you wouldn't. You can't sleep in a robe.
All right, let's go to our first contestant, Josh. Hello, Josh.
What's up? What's up, guys? How you doing?
We're very good, sir. Thanks for being with us.
Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right,
okay.
Here we go. Question number 1. What former Padre pitcher is starting for the Nationals tomorrow?
Mackenzie Gore.
Mackenzie
right.
Gore, yeah. Right on.
Nice
It. Very good,
job.
Josh.
I would have also taken Matt Gore. Question number 2. Against which team did the Padres play in the 2020 Wild Card Series?
Wild
that
Card
was the
Series.
St. Louis Cardinals.
Wow, you are good. Good player.
Wow, I was going to say Mets, but I was thinking 2022.
Yeah.
See, Josh was on that one. Good job,
I was
Josh.
lucky enough to be in the stadium that day that Fernando.
You were the
hit
only
home
one.
run. Me and
Well, there were no fans, right? Or just
there
a few?
were a few fans.
A few fans.
But I wanted to go to a game just to see the experience, and it was different. But and this is a playoff game. Fernando hits his major home run. I could hear the players screaming things on the field because it was so quiet. Anyway, Josh, you're still there. Okay.
I got it.
Yeah,
On a
you
fly
can
ball.
totally.
Yeah. No, I know.
Question number 3.
This is for the win. Josh is trying to take down the game in a hurry.
All right. Trevor Hoffman is number 1 in Padres saves of all time. Who is second in the Padres history?
In saves.
Ooh.
They've had some good closers over the years.
I'm going to go with my guy, Heath Bell.
That boy, Josh,
Bell
I think you got
is
it.
Correct.
He did.
Wow, Josh. Stay right
Well
there.
done. How many people in the history of the game, have come on
Clean
and
sweep?
with, I know the clean sweep has happened a few times, but there's usually a little help. There's a hint. You know what I mean? There's a bobble here or there.
Yeah.
Josh had 3 questions, 3 answers. Bang, bang, bang. Well done, Josh.
That was good.
Stay on the line. You are the winner of Chris versus the Fans today. And I will tell you that maybe you could tell by my reaction, I knew it was Heath Bell. So he would have gone down had he missed that one. But
Heath Bell did the sprint from the bullpen.
Classic moment.
Yes, I love that.
Heath Bell's a good. That's a good Padre trivia question, though.
I wonder how many saves he's behind.
Quite a few. I think it's 250 or so.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Trevor's over 500, so Heath Bell's got a ways to go.
Yeah.
Or had a ways to go.
Oh my gosh, it's not even close.
Right. But
Heath Bell at 134.
Oh,
Trevor Hoffman had 552.
Right, so it's 400.
I didn't want to do the math in my head.
Right, but let's just say Heath Bell was a solid, quality guy that you could count on in the 9th inning.
Who's number 3?
Yates, Kirby.
Oh, that's a good answer, but no. Good old Raleigh fingers.
Old Raleigh. I did not remember how many years Raleigh was saving games for the Pods.
He had 100. He had 265. He had 108 saves. Oh my gosh, Chris! He was 108 for 108.
Raleigh fingers.
Yeah.
As a Padre, he never blew a save.
That's what I'm looking at.
Well, that sounds almost unbelievable, to be honest with you.
Even Trevor Hoffman,
fingers.
He was 5. He had opportunities 591, saves 552. So whatever that is, like 39.
Yes,
blown saves.
He blew. That something. If I was a relief pitcher, that was my life. One of the things that I would petition Major League Baseball to do is change the name of blown save. Right? It just sounds like.
What would you change it to? Because I've thought about this before.
Yeah, it sounds like you really were you alone were responsible for losing that game, and it just really isn't true. A lot of times there could be an error, there could be a pop-up, there could be a missed call by an umpire.
Can you get a blown save if there is an error?
Yes, if you don't hold on to the lead. If there was 4 errors, you would get the blown save. You still get it whether it's earned or not.
I did not know that.
And and now somebody would have to correct me on this. So if you know, please tell us. But I think, again, I could be wrong, but even with the ghost runner now, right? If the visiting team scores in the top of the 11th inning,
it's an unearned run.
You come in the bottom of the 11th inning, you give up a run. That is an unearned run.
Yeah.
But I think you also get a blown save.
You get a loss because it was a tie.
Whoa. How do you get a loss?
Because you're in the extra innings and you.
No, it was a tie. It was 3-2.
Okay.
Never mind. I'm not explaining.
No. Explain it. I want to understand.
The Padres are playing at the Dodgers.
Okay.
2-2 after 9 innings.
Okay.
We go to the 10th.
Okay.
Padres score. They now lead 3-2.
Okay.
Bottom of the 10th. Suarez comes in.
Okay, I see where you're going.
Dodgers score 1 run only. Now it's 3-3. Suarez got a blown save. I think he does because he had the lead and he gave up a run, even though that runner started at second base.
When was the last time Robert Suarez blew a save? It was recent. I just can't remember.
Yes, the 5-run game, I believe, qualified under
the 5-run game.
Yes, didn't he give up 5 in the 9th to Arizona a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, yes, he did.
Okay,
I'm going to go back to that.
Anyway, my point.
14th.
Look, I'm not trying to poke.
He got the L.
Yes, but he didn't get a blown save.
He did not.
Oh, you know why? Because they had such a big lead. It wasn't
even
a save opportunity. Right?
There you go.
Yeah, but look, what we're saying here is that the blown save, the term itself, I think is a little too harsh.
I don't disagree. Someone has a suggestion for call it a lost save. Or a failed save.
Lost save I can get behind.
Or you stink.
I can get behind that.
Okay.
You know why I can get behind that? Because I must have said that to myself 12 different times on the golf
You
course today.
stink. Oh,
you stink. Gee, what are you doing?
Chris.
How many times has people done that right on a golf course? What am I doing?
Every single time.
Right, every time.
Every time.
All right. Do you want a break or what do you want to do? We're a little beyond.
Let's just go.
All right, coming back with more Gwynn and Chris. We got a long way to go. The Big Five's at the bottom of the hour. Padre baseball. We'll get you rolling on some other stuff when we return. I don't have anything specific yet, but you know what? That's always good news.
Let me look through my stuff.
Oh
too.
no, I have something.
Oh, great.
I have something. I want to honor one of my all-time favorite athletes. One of my all-time personal favorites got rewarded with something historic today. That's what I'll tell you about.
I have no idea.
And other things when Gwynn and Chris returns.
From the
One of my favorite athletes went into the Hockey Hall of Fame today. Scrape, wasn't you? Certainly wasn't me. After my story yesterday about how my
you just fell over when you went and left on the ice,
toppled my the end of my career.
I got a good. I'm not kidding. On the drive home last night, I thought about that, and
got a good laugh.
I got a good chortle by myself in the car.
Yeah, I if you missed it, I hurt my sciatic sitting, actually watching broadcasting a ball game, and it was so bad that a couple of days later, they have a sciatic. The injury can go down your leg. It's bad sometimes. People who've had it know, and that's most people have had it a little bit, unfortunately. Anyway, whatever that ligament or whatever nerve down there at the bottom in my ankle just didn't work anymore. And I didn't know it until I turned left on my skates. And but that never happened to Duncan Keith, who led the Blackhawks to 3 Stanley Cups. And he is into the Hockey Hall of Fame today. Congratulations to him. There's 2 or 3 other guys that got in today. You hockey fans may remember Zdeno Chara, who was a defenseman mostly for the Boston Bruins. He was about 6'8" before he put skates on.
Wow.
Quite the towering presence.
Yeah.
Joe Thornton had a great career, mostly with San Jose, your Sharkies, Joe Thornton. And those were all first-time eligible players. So congrats to all 3 of those. Alexander Mogilny, who once scored, I think, 80-something goals in a season, Russian player, played back in the day for Buffalo, had a long wait come to an end. He is also into the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's not quite the same legendary status in this country as other Hall of Fames. I get that, but get to be called a Hall of Famer nonetheless.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And speaking of the Hall of Fame, how about Strasburg?
Yes.
Got in there a couple days ago.
Aztec
Congratulations. No.
I'm sorry.
Oh, he was already in the Aztec Hall of Fame. This is, we're talking about college baseball.
That's way bigger
Hall
deal.
of Fame. A
Way
little
bigger
bigger
deal.
Strasburg gets in there, and
we're efforting to get him on the show.
Yeah, we'll hopefully get a hold of him. But Yeah, well, the thing with Strauss was like, I was like, well, how's he not in the College Baseball Hall of Fame already? I mean, after all, the guy was Golden Spikes winner, the best player in the entire country. Well, come to find out, there's a 15-year waiting period from the end of your college career. Why? Well, they want to, I guess, see if you've had, let you go out and have your.
So how does your professional career impact your college standing?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that, Scrape. It seems to me that, maybe Strasburg could have got in 10 years ago and it really wouldn't have changed too much, right? Not like he pitched any more.
No,
anyway,
he didn't. No, I don't understand college stuff at all.
Kirk, tell Kirk to send you a note. He'll know something about
Kirk
it. Kirk will know. Kirk wrote the story on it, by the way. Well done, as normal, by our friend Kirk Kenny on that one. But, Strassi into the College Baseball Hall of Fame. I covered his season in 2009 when he won the Golden Spikes, and we did all the games and broadcast him wherever he went.
Strasburg ready to go.
That was the final game when he got the no-hitter. The game that was even better than that, though, that Kirk kind of reminded me of in his story today, was the day he faced Utah and struck out 23 guys.
Oof.
Just think of that for a minute. There's only 27 outs. He struck out 23 guys. If that didn't signal the fact that Steven Strasburg might be okay, I think he finished 13-1 that year with a 1.20 ERA. And anyway,
how many strikeouts did he have in his debut? It was over 10.
Major League Baseball debut, I think 14.
Yeah.
In his very first game as a National against the Pirates. I was going to even ask Kevin Frandsen, who was on earlier, the Nationals broadcaster, what the thinking is in Washington, D.C. these days about Strasburg.
Oh, gosh.
After all, he led that city to the only World Series championship they've had in hundreds of years of baseball. Or not their only one, but the first one since Walter Johnson or something.
Yeah.
So Strasburg, you would think, could just never have to buy a drink in Washington, D.C. or a meal ever again. However, he signed that humongous contract and then never really pitched again. And I believe through no fault of his own, but he's one of the reasons, or that contract is one of the reasons that the Nationals have not been able to, get rolling. I mean, that's a lot of money that they have tied up in Steven Strasburg, even though he's no longer playing. So I wonder what the feeling is. And look, he didn't sign the contract. He didn't offer the contract.
Yeah.
He signed it and he got hurt. And, let's not compare Michael King to Strasburg, but Strasburg's injury was kind of a nerve thing that just kept degenerating, never got better, and he just couldn't ever pitch again. Let's make sure Michael King's nerve gets.
Let's not even go there.
Right. Yes.
Not even go there.
Yeah.
Okay. When he was in here, Steven Strasburg, he came in studio. I think you were on vacation one of those days.
I was, yeah.
And he came in and he was a really, really good dude. And then our golf tournament, he came up and stood next to us, Chris, and started chatting with us. I'm like, we're just nobodies.
And you
here.
shanked a couple after that.
I hit a bad shot when he was
Mr.
watching.
Strasburg.
I hit a bad shot when he was watching. That was very embarrassing. It was like a topped drive that duck hooked into a canyon. It was so embarrassing.
Didn't work too well for you.
No.
All right. We got our Big Five coming up next. A lot of fun. Other topics that we haven't quite hit on yet today. And we'll get to it when Gwynn and Chris returns. highlights of today's Big Five. Check a little traffic here in a moment. Cal Raleigh, though, incredible. 32nd home run last night. I think it's 5 games in a row for him as well.
With a homer?
Yeah. Aaron Judge has 28. They both homered yesterday, but Cal Raleigh. And then they asked Cal Raleigh about the MVP race. Did you hear that? Oh, man.
No.
I don't think I would have said what he said.
What did he say?
He said, Judge is hitting home runs at Yankee Stadium. I hit in Seattle. I think you got to put that into account.
I think you do. I saw them talking about, okay, so that's why they put it up there.
I'm not saying you don't have to put it into account. I'm saying he shouldn't say it. Let the rest of the people figure that out.
That's right, yes.
It doesn't look good when he's saying, I'm working in a much tougher ballpark than he is. Like, okay, but
Yankee Stadium has almost 200 more homers than Seattle does.
Not disagreeing with him, just saying that's not for him to say.
It's like what we talked about yesterday. If you have to tell people you're funny, you're probably not funny. So he should have let us say that.
Yeah, let us figure it out. We'll all figure it out.
But I kind of like that he said it.
Well,
maybe cause a little bit of a rivalry.
Start a little stir for sure. All right, let's get traffic and then find out what's in the Big Five. Tony is ready.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Got an accident northbound 805 near the 54. It's over to the right shoulder and still clearing a crash over the right shoulder. Southbound 805 just past Telegraph Canyon Road. Also northbound 125 before the King Freeway. Collision in the center divide. Up ahead, we still have a solo vehicle accident north 125 Fletcher Parkway off ramp. It's over to the right shoulder. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all of their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. Let's get right into it, just so we don't go 26 minutes like we did yesterday. Although the Big Five, I got some compliments about, so I'm not mad at it.
Do you think the listening audience is timing the Big Five, and it matters to them how long it is?
Yes, it does.
You think they're timing it?
Oh,
no,
I don't.
You think
actually
once over
think
22 minutes, they're like, yeah, that's it. I can't listen any longer. You're the only one that matters to.
Chris is in a fabulous mood today. I think.
I'm just pointing something out.
Okay, I don't even know where to go with that. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by
Hurry up, man. We're at
Staples.
minute 43 right now.
The San Diego Wave FC announced today that Alex Morgan's number 13 jersey is officially going to be retired, making her the first player in club history to receive this honor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the club is maybe 5 years old at this point, but some say this is purely a marketing stunt, trying to get her name on it, even though she's an owner. I don't get those people. Some say this is a great thing for San Diego and the Wave. So, Tony, what say you?
I say she's deserving. I think although it's been a short period of time, and I think that'll be the thing if the Wave end up having a very long history, that will eventually would be looked at, right? It'll be kind of in the same way Steve Garvey here at San Diego. Like, you look back at the guys that they've retired, and because, when Steve came and had the big hit and kind of got the Padres into the World Series, Padres didn't have a lot of history. It was really the first thing that happened to them well, and they celebrated that by retiring Garvey's number. I think, if the Wave are fortunate enough to have that kind of long history, it'll eventually, you start looking at the numbers and things of that people have been able to accomplish, and I would assume they've been there long enough, they're going to be able to eclipse anything that Alex Morgan put together. But I think it's warranted right now. I think it's a no-brainer, quite frankly, right now that they retire her her number in her jersey. I think this is the right thing to do.
Chris, what say you about this? Some say it's purely a marketing stunt. Some say it's a great thing for San Diego and the Wave.
Well, I think it's a good thing for the Wave to attach themselves to Alex Morgan and to have Alex Morgan always be attached to the Wave. She was the number one draw on the very first franchise Wave team that ever stepped out on the pitch. She was the reason, I would say, with all due respect to the coaches and players and everybody else, she was the main reason that people wanted to even come out and see what this league was all about. Alex Morgan's on the Wave, come to the match. So for what she accomplished in that regard, for how important she was to this franchise, she is the cornerstone. So her number can be retired. However, having said that,
here we go. Real answer.
Oh, no, that was the real answer, and this is the real answer, too. I think that maybe 5 or 6 years past her retirement is better for a retired number jersey. Be honest with you, they're going to get a little marketing attention out of this now. People will put pictures on the front page of the paper about it, and they'll write a couple of columns. But guess what? They do the same thing 5 years from now, when they bring her back and retire her number
and make a bigger deal about it.
So she right now she's part of the ownership. She's still, attached to this franchise, but I think it would have been better to wait a little while. That's all. I think they get the same bang for the buck. Oomph. Yeah.
I think that's why the whole marketing thing is stupid. Like I don't think that's a real reason.
Right.
They're going to get some from it, but as Chris said, whether they do it now or 5 years from now, still going to be the same thing.
Yeah. Good point, Chris. Good point.
Number 4.
Another reason maybe the baseball gods are with us this season is Fernando escaped injury after being hit on the wrist by a pitch last week. Corbin Carroll also got hit on the wrist, but things did not go so well for him. Arizona Diamondbacks outfielder, he is heading to the IL with a chip fracture in his left wrist. He suffered the injury last week after being hit in the hand during a game against the Blue Jays. He left the game after the top of the 8th inning, and post-game x-rays were negative, but they had to put him on the IL, and he's going to miss some time. Chris, you're up first. On a scale of big deal, little deal, or no deal, what is this injury for the Diamondbacks?
Well, considering Corbin Burns is already lost for the season,
they got 2 Corbins.
They've now lost their second Corbin.
No one wants to lose a second Corbin.
You lose 2 Corbins, I think you got to
fold it.
I think you got to. Yeah, I think you got
to.
You got to end the franchise. Well, that's a big deal. Corbin Carroll is one of the best players in the league, so this is a big deal. Here's the thing that I'll compare it to what happened, last week with the Dodgers, and it hasn't really entered into the discussion yet. When you throw a pitch up around head, neck, shoulders, one of the reasons why Mike Schilt and everyone else got so angry is because in order to protect yourself from having the ball hit you there, the only thing you can do is put your hands in the way of it. And what happened to Corbin Carroll is what easily could have happened to Fernando, because how many little bones and little pieces are there in your hand? So that's why he's mad. He doesn't want you doing this because we can't afford to lose Tatis for that kind of time. And I don't think Arizona can afford to lose Corbin Carroll for that kind of time. Randall Grichuk is the replacement right now. It's not exactly a reasonable facsimile of one of the best players in the league.
We got a facsimile mentioned today. I like that.
This is a big deal.
Tony, big deal, little deal, or no deal for this injury for the
big
Diamondbacks?
Deal. Yeah, big deal for the Diamondbacks. They needed all his offense. I mean, he's having a fantastic season before this chip fracture. It's a big deal, and they are already trying to cover some ground that they lost early when they had those guys, and so. Yeah, this is a big deal for them. We'll see how if they can stay afloat while Corbin's out because that was the thing that was keeping him in it, keeping them in it was their offense. It's a juggernaut, and Suarez also came out of that game getting hit in the wrist. So yeah, I think this is a big deal.
I'm more angry now than I was when Mike Schilt actually jumped out onto the field. Because the more I think about this is exactly what could have happened.
Exactly.
And, everybody's like, well, it's no big deal. There's a rookie pitcher. It's a big deal. And I want to hear one time Dave Roberts explain how he feels when Ohtani or Freeman or Betts crack a little bone in their wrist because somebody comes high and tight like that. Because Dave Roberts doesn't seem to have any problem with the way the Dodgers pitch Fernando Tatis Jr. So I would like to see if he has a problem with people pitching his guys that way, because these injuries change seasons.
Well, Ohtani,
For the
yeah,
record, people do pitch his guys that way. I think everybody gets pitched that way. It's just that Toddy's been the one that's gotten hit 3 times.
Yes, and yeah, it's just bad. My chip fracture, though, when I had one before, is when I was reaching into the chip bag and I had a good chip, and then it fractured as I was taking it out. And chip fracture.
You're the kind of guy that starts this off by saying we got to go fast, and then you extend the segment with that.
Man, I've had that locked and loaded since this morning.
The chip fracture joke.
I thought it would be hilarious.
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay.
Well, hang on a second. Whack. Give the audience a chance to laugh before you play number 3.
When I got a good chip and then they tried to pull it out of the bag and it fractured, and I was angry. You guys know? Okay.
We don't know.
Number 3.
All right. Hold on. I think I deserve this. All right. I'm not going to make any more bad jokes for the rest of the Big Five. The Indiana Pacers confirmed yesterday that their star guard Tyrese Halliburton tore his right Achilles tendon in Sunday night's NBA Finals game. He wrote on social media, Halliburton did, quote, "I do it again and again after that to fight for the city and for my brothers for the chance to do something special," end quote. He's now looking at missing most, if not all, of next season. So, Tony, in the end, was it smart for him to push through this calf injury?
Yes. You know why? You know why it would have been smart? Because if he didn't, it was like, I'm going to sit out Game 7. I'm not sure that my
he would never live it down.
Oh, my God. They would have been roasting my guy all day. And so, yeah, man, this is what athletes do. They want to – there's no guarantee that he's going to get back to the finals. And he, unlike Anthony Edwards, who feels like he's going to just be getting back there all the time, wanted to take advantage. And, yes, it cost him this Game 7 and most, if not all, next season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, that's kind of how these things go. Like, you get an opportunity to do this, you play it out. It didn't work out. If he would have just sat out, he would have never known what could have happened. He would have never played. So it would have just been like, dang. And we would have crushed him.
That's true. I actually, for some reason, didn't even think about the crush aspect of it.
Oh, my God.
I was like, it is kind of smart for him not to tear his Achilles tendon. And then you're right. Everybody would say that till the end of time. Well, if Halliburton would have played, blah, blah, blah.
Can you remember? You remember in 2025 when Halliburton sat out of Game 7? Oh, my God. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I remember when Scottie Pippen got the famous migraine headache in Game 7 of an Eastern Conference final against Detroit and had to sit most of the game. He was roasted for that for
Why did you
while.
quote unquote? I'm genuinely asking.
Because nobody was ever sure that he had a migraine headache.
What was it then? He was.
I think he was tired of the Pistons beating the snot out of the out of the Bulls.
Okay.
He didn't want to take another beating, is what a lot of people said in criticizing him.
That's the kind of narrative that would have taken hold.
And that would have happened here. Yeah, I mean, this is a no-brainer, obviously. Ask Tony's dad. You're not guaranteed to ever get back to a World Series. Ask Dan Marino. You're not guaranteed a Super Bowl. Ask Ernie Banks, who never even got to try it once. And what would you, as a fan or talk show host, say when Zion Williamson chose to sit out Game 7?
I'd say, what a smart decision for that young man.
Yes, you sure would.
Sure you would.
No, I would probably be like, I'm sure he's got a pizza somewhere waiting for him.
Ben Simmons and Zion Williamson would have not played, but Tyrese Halliburton's not them.
That is true. He is not them at all.
Number 2.
I was talking with my friend from Cincinnati this morning, and they were complaining about the Reds DFAing Jamer Candelario with a ton of money left on his deal. They were complaining that this franchise never going to figure it out. I thought I was talking to a Padres fan for a second, but I wasn't. I was talking to a Reds fan. So I said to him, at least you have a superstar still on that team. He asked, who? I said, Ellie De La Cruz. He said, I love him. He's awesome. I hope he's a Red for life, but I cannot call him a superstar. and I thought that was weird. So, Chris, is Ellie De La Cruz a star or a superstar?
He's a star that probably is going to be a superstar. He's certainly laying the groundwork for that kind of a career. He's a highlight package almost every single game. Whether it's hitting home runs, stealing bases, acrobatics on defense. I would imagine to a certain extent that the everyday Reds fan is not as enamored with him as we are, because the everyday Reds fan has to sit through a ton of strikeouts, throwing errors, inconsistencies, and basically every other thing that a young player goes through. We don't from afar.
Yeah.
All we see are the Ellie De La Cruz highlights, and there seems to be many of them. But yeah, I think he's a guy they can build that franchise around and give him another year or two. And if the Reds are somehow able to keep him, pretty sure superstar is not far away.
Tony, is Ellie De La Cruz a star or a superstar?
He's a
You trying to put him in the middle?
a star. Yeah, okay, yes. He's a star on the verge with potential to be a superstar.
Okay.
He is a human highlight film, but he ain't consistent enough yet to be a superstar. No. He has pockets of things that are greatness, but then you don't hear from him for quite a bit of time. And so it's all part of his process to become a superstar, but I do think your buddy is being a little bit ridiculous. I mean,
he's a
yes,
massive
you can't
Reds
call
fan.
him a superstar right now, but the fact that you want him to be a Reds for life kind of is talking out of both sides of your mouth.
Yeah, isn't it?
Why do you want to have him to be a Red for life if he's just okay?
He's okay.
So, I think he's on his way.
Here comes a question that could be considered blasphemous. Which young player has a bigger upside for their career? Jackson Merrill or Ellie De La Cruz?
Oh, wow. Ups like ceiling?
Yeah. Like who can be the greater player?
I think Jackson would be more consistent at a higher level.
Seems like it, yeah.
But Ellie De La Cruz can put up 45 home runs if he wants to.
Yeah, his ceiling is higher, I think.
Seems like Ellie De La Cruz could go 40-70 like Ronald Acuna did in a perfect season.
He could.
I don't think Jackson
but
can get there.
I'll take the consistency of Jackson Merrill, though, over the long haul.
290 hitting Jackson Merrill, who hits 25 home runs, versus a 240 hitting Ellie De La Cruz, who hits 40 home runs and strikes out over 200 times.
I'm very content with Jackson Merrill myself. I'm just throwing that out there.
All right.
I'm okay with him being a Padre for life, as my man said.
Yeah. Reds fans have it tough too. He said, tell those Padres fans to stop complaining because my team has been garbage since the day I was born. And he has a point.
He was obviously born after the
Big Red Machine.
Yeah.
Well, I think he meant I've never seen a really good Reds team.
How old is he?
He's probably 36, 37.
That's about how long ago they won the World Series.
And
1990, they won it.
His year that he wanted them to go to the World Series is the year the Giants eliminated the Reds. And he was I'm sorry to laugh at him, but he was so upset for years after that. This was our chance.
Clearly it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Number one.
You can thank Matt Latos for that one, Reds fans. In an interview today with Pat McAfee, Aaron Rodgers revealed that he's likely to retire after spending the coming season with the Steelers. He said, quote, Chris just hung his head. God. He said, quote, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. That's why we just did a one-year deal. Steelers didn't need to put any extra years on it or anything. This was really about finishing with a lot of love and fun and peace for the career that I've had, end quote. Tony, you're up first. Do you believe him that this is the last year? He's already given himself an out, too.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he didn't say this any other time. He was always kind of on the fence. This seems a little more definitive. Of course, he's more than he could change his mind from now until the end of the season. Winning could do that. Him being upright and maybe not touched all the year could change his outlook on going through it again, but I could see this being his last year. I really could. He's bounced around now a couple different times. Brett Favre, who was notorious for retiring and then not retiring.
Yes, he was.
Seemed like it got old to him having to keep changing teams there at the end, and that eventually led to be the thing that was like, all right, enough is enough.
I mean, you got to go find a place to live. You got to go.
Not only
do all
that
stuff.
Not only that, he is every year he's going to get older, and his body's going to be, less in tune with dealing with the type of beat down that you have to take. So, yeah, I can see this being his last year.
Chris, last year for Aaron Rodgers, do you believe him?
I don't really care with him. I'll be honest with you. I am so angered to even hear him say this. And I'm not a Steelers fan. But if I were, imagine me putting all of my eggs in one Aaron Rodgers basket. And before he even picks up a football, he's already thinking about how he's retired at the end of the season. That is not the kind of attitude I want. But if that's what it's going to be, then let's have a proper send-off. And I certainly hope that every team in the NFL takes time out of their busy schedule and marketing plans to present Aaron Rodgers with gifts and rocking chairs and everything else to send him on his way during his retirement tour.
Lifetime supply of ayahuasca?
This guy he is not about the team he's playing on. He's about Aaron Rodgers, and I think the Steelers made a big, fat mistake.
I don't think they had a choice.
Well,
I think they were either going into the year with Mason Rudolph or Aaron Rodgers.
I'd take Mason Rudolph over him in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
Come
you were
on,
lying
please,
right now.
stop it.
Mason Rudolph is not good.
At least he's a gamer. I know he's in there trying to win some games.
He's a gamer.
Trying.
What does that mean?
That means it means that if what's his name on the Browns whacks him over the head with his helmet, he's going to hit him back.
I see. Miles Garrett.
Yeah,
because that's the point of the game. Is
that's
to hit
what
back.
it's all about.
Is to hit people with your helmets.
You guys are laughing at me now, but you just wait till Rodgers is out of action by November.
I don't like Aaron Rodgers either, but I'd much rather have him over Mason Rudolph.
That's just ridiculous.
You got him. You got him.
All right.
You and your best buddy Michael Valenzuela, you two Steeler fans, can sit there every Sunday and wave your pennant.
All right. Pennants. More Gwynn and Chris when we get back on 97.3 The Fan.
San Diego is my city and local.
Thank you for listening to 97.3 The Fan. Be back shortly. I would be back shortly if the thing will click. See, I'm clicking. I have no idea what's happening. It's not playing any commercials right now. Well, this is just great, everybody. Let me see if I could try to start another one. All right. Well, this is awesome. On the air right now with no help, and there are no commercials to be played. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, everybody? You're getting a real live thing right here. This is real live Matt Scraby. I'm going to have to restart Wide Orbit real quick. So goodbye, Wide Orbit. It's not even closing. I'm going to text Adam, and I'm going to say, Adam, I tried to go to break and the commercials did not play, and the program won't shut down. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to do some Control-Alt-Delete over here. Control-Alt-Delete. Okay, I got it. Task Manager. It's not coming up. There it goes. Task Manager came up, everybody. I have no idea. I'm way too generous with my stroke giving. Never mind.
Are you really?
Never mind.
Wait.
I did not mean for that to happen. I did not.
That sounds like a promo to me.
Scraby's giving out strokes. I can't wait to hear that one. I'm gonna laugh for a while on that one.
Nate says, Scravy, maybe you should date her.
You might be a generous stroke giver, but I don't think she really wants to leave her boyfriend for that.
All right, that was good. In full disclosure, I'm reading this. Tony can't gather himself right now. That was a good one, Chris. That was a really good one. So I saw this at 7-Eleven, and I had to get it. It's called the One Chip Challenge. It was sitting there in the aisle, and I thought, why not? Because I am into spicy stuff. But this thing looks pretty hot. I'm not going to lie. It says a Reaper pepper and a Scorpion pepper. It's also in the shape of a coffin, which doesn't make me very happy about that. It doesn't make me feel good. Oh, extreme heat, it says. I'm going to try a little bit first, just so I don't die, I guess. That's the thing I'm saying. This looks... I don't even know if I should be eating this. It looks like it has mold or something, but let's see how hot it is. Let's go. There's a little bit of spice there. It's going. Oh, man. This is hot. Not that bad, though. I still have this side to go. It is getting hot. I'm not going to lie. My mouth is, like, getting crazy. Now it's kicking in. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this. Honestly, it's getting serious. I gotta go with the milk. My mouth is dying right now. Yeah, this is not fun, guys. Never gonna do that again because my mouth is on fire. Thank you for listening to 97.3 The Fan. Be back shortly. I would be back shortly if the thing will click. See, I'm clicking. I'm clicking. I have no idea what's happening. It's not playing any commercials right now. Well, this is just great, everybody. Let me see if I could try to start another one. All right. Well, this is awesome. On the air right now with no help, and there are no commercials to be played. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, everybody? You're getting a real live thing right here. This is real live Matt Scraby. I'm going to have to restart Wide Orbit real quick, so goodbye, Wide Orbit. It's not even closing. I'm going to text Adam, and I'm going to say, Adam, I tried to go to break, and the commercials did not play, and the program won't shut down. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to do some Control-Alt-Delete over here. Control-Alt-Delete. Okay, I got it. Task Manager. It's not coming up. There it goes. Task Manager came up, everybody. I have no idea. I'm way too generous with my stroke giving. Never mind.
Are you really?
Never mind.
Wait.
I did not mean for that to happen. I did not.
That sounds like a promo to me.
Scraby's giving out strokes. I can't wait to hear that one. I'm going to laugh for a while on that one.
Nate says, Scravy, maybe you should date her.
You might be a generous stroke giver, but I don't think she really wants to leave her boyfriend for that.
All right, that was good. That was good. In full disclosure, I'm reading this. Tony can't gather himself right now. That was a good one, Chris. That was a really good one. So I saw this at 7-Eleven, and I had to get it. It's called the One Chip Challenge. It was sitting there in the aisle, and I thought, why not? Because I am into spicy stuff. But this thing looks pretty hot. I'm not going to lie. It says a Reaper pepper and a Scorpion pepper. It's also in the shape of a coffin, which doesn't make me very happy about that. Doesn't make me feel good. Oh, extreme heat, it says. I'm going to try a little bit first, just so I don't die, I guess. That's the thing I'm saying. This looks... I don't even know if I should be eating this. It looks like it has mold or something.
So happy to get rolling into the happy hour. 5:03 is the time. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr. down at Petco Park. Mr. Scraby, who honestly thought it was funny to say that the chip in the bag cracked.
No, fractured.
Fractured.
It was a funny joke.
A potato chip.
It was a funny joke. Have you ever heard of a chip fracture injury before?
Pretty sure that not one person got that one.
Okay, if anybody's on the chat and thought that was a funny joke, please let me know.
Did anybody even crease a smile on that one?
How is that not funny? The only chip fracture I've ever had is when I reached my hand into a chip bag
again?
And I fractured the chip.
You're going to say it again, aren't you?
I think it's
you
pretty
just
good.
Did. Happy Hour is brought to you by GL Pools. The swimming pool experts are trusted by thousands of San Diegans since 2006. Baseball season is in full swing. So is swim season. Call GL Pools. Mention radio. Free month of pool service. Michael Valenzuela, the Steeler fan that I mentioned in the Big Five.
Our boss
said, "We are not buddies, Chris. I don't want him either." Aaron Rodgers. I knew he didn't like Aaron Rodgers.
I did, but if he had the choice between Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph, I mean,
all right. Well, you can ask him when you see him. If we're still employed, you can ask him when you.
Hey,
see
you were
him.
the one who brought him up.
I know. All right, happy hour time. Padres hope they have a little happier evening tonight as they host the Nats in Game 2. of this 3-game series. Washington 10-6 last night. It'll be the guy who's filled in great, Ryan Bergert, for the Padres tonight, and the San Diego kid, Trevor Williams, for Washington this evening. Nationals lineup is indeed the exact same as it was last night, except Riley Adams catches, batting 8th, instead of what is the normal starter? Yeah, Keibert Ruiz, who started last night, came out of the game. Riley Adams came in.
Yes.
I didn't hear an injury report on Keibert Ruiz, but something must have caused him to leave that game
Maybe
early.
he was getting bad feels from last year.
Riley Adams, by the way.
Oh, he took a foul ball off the head.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He's going to get a scan.
Yeah, that's what you get for...
Oh, he's on the injured list now, too.
He went to the IL already.
Yeah.
Okay.
10-day injured list with a head contusion.
Keibert. We'll see
I don't
if
know
Keibert...
why I felt like the
I don't feel like making fun of the
was
guy.
funny.
Making fun of the guys on the injured list. All I'm saying is that what you get for trying to, get something started with our guy last year, Jerks and Profar.
I know.
Riley Adams, though, who takes over in the starting role, University of San Diego guy.
Oh.
All-American several years ago. I did feel a little bad for Riley last night. He came into the game and they popped his batting average up there on the screen. And 102 does not work for a batting average. So he'll be in there tonight. But so will C.J. Abrams, James Wood, and the rest of the former Padres tonight.
Oh, can I read it? Do you want me to read this tweet from someone who told me the lineup and how it should be if A.J. Preller did it right?
Yeah, the Padres. Well, AJ Preller doesn't do the lineup, even though.
No, I mean,
again, you great assists think so.
No. This is if AJ didn't trade everyone. This person tweeted me.
If
said,
AJ didn't trade everyone,
I presented that poorly.
Okay,
the
fine.
lineup we could have had if AJ just hibernated instead of actually
didn't
doing
make
his
any
job.
trades. Okay, go ahead.
Edwards at second base. Xavier
Edwards, the Marlin guy.
C.J. Abrams at third. I don't know why he would. I don't know where Manny went, but Trey Turner at short, Wood in the outfield, Rooker in the outfield, Naylor at first base, Bell at DH. I don't know why you want him at DH. Grisham at outfield. I don't know why you want him. And the Hedges as a catcher. Why would you want him either?
Hedges.
Like what? This is what we're dealing with, Chris. These are the people that we're talking to.
So that lineup there is better than this one, apparently.
The first reply I can't even say on the radio, but I will tell you in the break, and it's hilarious. This is one of the dumbest things. Like, I don't want people to be scared off from like interacting with us. But if you're going to send something like this,
have a clue.
Be ready for us to make fun of it because that is ridiculous. You want Hedges? He was under 200 for all of his career, hitting under 200.
Here's number one on that. Every team in baseball, you can make a list of players that are no longer on their team that might look good on their team now. It just is. Even the Dodgers, I guarantee you, have let a few guys get away in trades or
they absolutely have.
People they haven't re-signed that have gone on and done things. Secondly, as we said all day long, if you still had James Wood, C.J. Abrams, and Josh Bell, you may not have gone to the NLCS in 2022. You may not have been a postseason team last year. You may have, I don't know. And then the bottom line is Abrams, Wood, and Bell, although very good last night, are the leaders of a national team that is one of the worst in baseball.
Yeah, that tells me something.
They still have a lot of growing pains to go through. Would you be willing to wait for all that? I do owe an apology. The Cal Raleigh subtle jab at Aaron Judge about how he's got all his home runs in Seattle and Aaron Judge is hitting at Yankee Stadium, and I think that should be mentioned. That was from a tweet called Talkin' Bossabell, not Talking Baseball.
I've been fooled by this account too.
I tell you, you look at it, you don't see Bossabell. You see baseball.
Yeah, you do.
That's what you see.
And it's a like a verified Twitter
it's got a blue
account.
check. Yeah, so you think you're in. All right, so I don't know. You idiots out. If you were somebody that honestly spends your time, me, I'm stupid. I fell for it, but they also why are you even doing that? What's your point?
People just.
I don't get
I don't know. I don't get it either.
All right, so let's let Cal Raleigh off the hook here. He did nothing or said nothing. He's just hitting home runs for the Mariners. One last thing before we go to the break, and then on the Scraby segment to finish the show, he is going to lead all of us in a Dean Spanos bashing that you are going to love out there.
Yes.
Do not miss the Dean Spanos bash.
I've come across text messages from
that
his
is
phone
coming up in the next segment. But before I get to that, very quick, according to AI, artificial intelligence has now rated the greatest pure hitters in Major League history.
So Austin Hedges is on that list.
Yes, and T.J. Abrams and James Wood. Now, how AI ever arrived at this? Don't ask me, but people seem to like AI. So here are the top 10 hitters, pure hitters in the history of the sport. Number 10, Honus Wagner. Number 9, Wade Boggs. Number 8, Pete Rose. Number 7, Ichiro. Number 6, Anthony Keith Gwynn.
Thank you, AI.
Pretty good. Now, I want to just leave it there for a second. Who would be the 5 guys that are ahead of Anthony Keith Gwynn, best pure hitters to ever live?
I think I got some good guesses. Ted Williams.
Ted's number 1.
Oh, okay.
On this list.
What about the Babe?
Babe, no.
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds should be.
He's
don't
not?
disagree with you. I think Barry Bonds should be. He's
Even
not.
AI is keeping him out of stuff like this?
Well, Pete Rose is on this, so obviously that's not. Maybe the AI is putting the, that whole thing, the steroid thing. But Barry Bonds the best pure hitter. Most people think. Anyway, it's Ted Williams 1, Ty Cobb 2.
I was going to say
talking
him.
about great people. Roger Hornsby 3, another early century guy.
We're getting some guesses. Derek Jeter.
No, Rod Carew 4. Rod Carew won a lot of batting titles, and Stan the Man Musial 5. That is artificial intelligence. Keep that in mind.
It's not a bad list, though.
Well, yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good list. But now that you mention that with no Barry Bonds, don't love the list because Barry Bonds the best hitter I've seen. And if Anthony Keith Gwynn Jr. says he's the best ahead of his own dad,
yeah,
I got to listen to that.
Yeah, Tony does say that.
Yeah. All right, we are gonna bash Dean Spanos all together now after traffic on Gwynn and Chris.
From the
Joseph Musgrove in the building.
Give him a round of applause, everyone.
It's not a bad setup right here, huh?
No, not at all. Not at all. How you doing, Joe?
I feel great, man. Yeah, really good. Excited.
I heard you say on the stage today, 2 months away from throwing a baseball.
Yeah.
What are those 2 months going to be like for you?
A lot of patience, I've been working really hard, man. Been really diligent with the rehab. The strengthening stuff has all been, right on par. I've kind of hit every checkpoint with ease. And that was something that was told to me early on is like, really give it the time that you need on the front end. You don't throw for 6 months regardless. So, don't try to go out and be a hero and get yourself throwing in 4 months. Just, do all the rehab, hit all the checkpoints, and then, maybe make up some time on the back end, once I'm consistently throwing. So strength feels really good. It's just, getting the shoulder moving again and back in like certain ranges before I start playing catch.
For those who may not know, I don't think it was ever going to be in question whether Joe was going to attack his rehab the way he has already started to attack it. This is one of the most hard-working people I've ever been around. But this is new territory for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a guy who I consider well-educated on anything he's about to walk through.
Yeah.
What was your education like leading up to surgery? I know you must have talked to a billion people. You don't leave stones unturned.
Yeah.
What was that like, getting yourself prepared for this surgery?
Yeah, I got a notebook full of pages of conversations, phone calls, doctor visits. I vetted 3-4 different doctor options. Called everybody I knew that had Tommy John. Called guys that had had it twice, and what the difference was the second time around compared to the first. So
this is your first, correct?
My first one, yeah. So I feel like I've done every bit of the homework that I could. I feel like I was as prepared and as educated on the process as possible. And now it's just putting the lessons that I've learned from other people and their experiences, along with the feel and the trust that I have for myself.
We're talking to Joe Musgrove here on 97.3 The Fan. And Joe, last year you called into our show, and
yeah, here we go.
You played a prank on me, and it was a really good prank because my heart stopped a beat for a second, and it still does. But I appreciate you doing that. This is the first time we've actually been able to talk about it.
A little locker room talk. It's all good, baby.
I told him, I told these folks his eyes almost popped out of his head when Joe got on that phone.
Well, yeah, when I'm told I can't come into the clubhouse, it's a little concerning, considering, I'm not that crazy of a guy, but
no,
anyway.
You're good by us down there. You're
Okay,
welcome
good.
whenever.
All right. I just wanted to ask you about the mental side of things, because it's got to be hard knowing you're coming into the year you're not going to pitch.
Right.
But you still have to keep working. How do you stay in that zone?
I think, first off, it's a little bit of a relief. It's a chance to kind of step back from, the constant mentality and approach of like being on edge and getting ready and prepared, and just the stresses that, any ball player deals with on the day-to-day of like mechanics feeling out of whack, or as spring gets closer, maybe you haven't hit the checkpoints that you want to hit, or things aren't, as consistent as you like it to be. So not having to deal with those stresses has been super nice. I've been able to focus on life a little bit, got engaged, got a new home, made some moves. So it's been really good. And I think, once I had the surgery, I knew what was ahead of me and, how long the road was. And, it took a little while to get to a good headspace, but I feel like I'm in a great spot now. And, I was saying earlier out on the stage, I'm not claiming to be Superman, but I really believe in my ability to heal and, my ability to, to push my body and get it ready. So I'm preparing and shooting for a return in the postseason at some point. And if, we're a month away from that and I realize it's a long shot, I'm completely fine with, sitting out and, preparing for 26. But I keep myself busy, man. I've really tried to be an extension of the coaching staff and, provide, assistance and help and, experience and, things that help these younger guys and, some of our guys that are transitioning to a starting role, help their careers grow. So, keep myself busy and keeping tasks, to have, at my fingertips, things to work on has been a good relief for me.
Joseph Musgrove in the building.
Give him a round of applause, everyone.
What's up? It's not a bad setup right here, huh?
No, not at all. Not at all. How you doing, Joe?
I feel great, man. Yeah, really good. Excited.
I heard you say on the stage today, 2 months away from throwing a baseball.
Yeah.
What are those 2 months going to be like for you?
A lot of patience, I've been working really hard, man. Been really diligent with the rehab. The strengthening stuff has all been, right on par. I've kind of hit every checkpoint with ease. And that was something that was told to me early on is like, really give it the time that you need on the front end. You don't throw for 6 months regardless. So, don't try to go out and be a hero and get yourself throwing in 4 months. Just, do all the rehab, hit all the checkpoints, and then, maybe make up some time on the back end, once I'm consistently throwing. So strength feels really good. It's just, getting the shoulder moving again and back in like certain ranges before I start playing catch.
For those who may not know, I don't think it was ever going to be in question whether Joe was going to attack his rehab the way he has already started to attack it. This is one of the most hard and working people I've ever been around. But this is new territory for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a guy who I consider well educated on anything he's about to walk through.
Yeah.
What was your education like leading up to surgery? I know you must have talked to a billion people. You don't leave stones unturned.
Yeah.
What was that like, getting yourself prepared for this surgery?
Yeah, I got a notebook full of pages of conversations, phone calls, doctor visits. I vetted 3-4 different doctor options. Called everybody I knew that had Tommy John. Called guys that had it twice, and what the difference was the second time around compared to the first. So
this is your first, correct?
My first one, yeah. So I feel like I've done every bit of the homework that I could. I feel like I was as prepared and as educated on the process as possible. And now it's just putting the the lessons that I've learned from other people and their experiences, along with the feel and the trust that I have for myself.
We're talking to Joe Musgrove here on 97.3 The Fan. And Joe, last year you called into our show, and
yeah, here we go.
You played a prank on me, and it was a really good prank because my heart stopped a beat for a second, and it still does. But I appreciate you doing that. This is the first time we've actually been able to talk about it.
A little locker room talk. It's all good, baby.
I told him, I told these folks that his eyes almost popped out of his head when Joe got on that phone.
Well, yeah, when I'm told I can't come into the clubhouse, it's a little concerning, considering, I'm not that crazy of a guy, but
no,
anyway.
You're good by us down there. You're
Okay,
welcome
good.
whenever.
All right. I just wanted to ask you for...
in San Diego. I like to root for the Padres. Cheer for the red and black. Listen to Gwynn and Chris on the radio. That's a big deal.
Yes, it is.
Which you're doing now. 5:20 is the time. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby. But I don't know that any of those things are as unifying in our town, Scraby, as is bashing Dean Spanos. Yeah. I don't think you can walk around with a sign, a bullhorn, use a skywriter, right? One of those things over there, top there.
Yes.
And say, anybody down there that doesn't want to bash Dean Spanos when the chance arrives.
That's a long message, but yeah.
You know what I mean? But nobody's going to raise their hand because everybody wants to bash this guy. He's universally hated.
One of my favorite things ever was when they caught Dean shoving a hot dog in his mouth during a game. He got mustard on himself. That was hilarious.
So Scraby's got that for you in a second. But one quick baseball note. I'd not heard of this young man, Chase Burns, 23-year-old right-hander for the Cincinnati Reds, making his first career start tonight against the Yankees. He's out of Wake Forest. Superstar, second-round pick, or first-round pick, second choice, something,
pick.
Yeah. First start tonight. Top of the first inning, Grisham strikes out. Rice strikes out. Judge strikes out. Bang, bang, bang.
Bang, bang, bang.
Second inning, Bellinger strikes out. Goldschmidt strikes out. First guy in the division era.
Expansion
era. Well, that's the same. 1969.
They're saying 61.
Oh, wow. Okay, you're right.
So 8 more
61,
years.
Even longer. First guy in 60-some-odd years to start his career by striking out the first 5 guys he faced. First guy to do it, really, that we know about. He also struck out Volpe to end the second inning after giving up a single. He had a strikeout of Grisham in the third. So he had 7 Ks through 3 innings, but then the Yankees got him. Rice home run, Volpe 2-run triple, and a little different. Burns is still in the ball game, 5th inning, trailing 3-0, but still pretty good. An electric start to his career. Chase Burns.
That was pretty good.
Keep an eye on that right-hander.
Throwing a hundo.
Folos Rojos. All right, Scrabe.
All right, it's time to bash?
Yeah, let's bash Dean Spanos. And this is bash-worthy stuff, by the way. We're not just kind of making this up.
No, we're not just doing it for fun.
No,
there is a reason.
We are doing it for fun.
But there's a reason behind it. We're not
Yes.
just making, like you said, making
But
stuff
we
up.
are going to have fun.
We
doing
will
it.
get to Dean Spanos in a second, but we have to set up why Dean Spanos is in the news.
Okay.
And so there was a lawsuit again between the NFL Players Association and the NFL, and the Players Association was saying the NFL owners were colluding against fully guaranteed contracts.
Right.
And so they took them to court to prove that that the owners were coming together and saying, we're not going to give these guys fully guaranteed contracts.
Basically,
because we don't
owners
want to.
talk behind the scenes, and one owner says, "Hey, I'm not going to pay this guy as long as you don't pay this guy."
Exactly.
And the owners both go, "Yeah, that's good for both of us because now we're keeping the salaries down."
You know why we're knowing about this too, which kind of bothers me, but Pablo Torre is the one
Good
who's
for Pablo
breaking this news.
Well,
This is
since he
actual
has-
news.
Since the Bill Belichick thing looks like it's going to blow up on him, maybe this is good that he got this one right. But go ahead.
Okay, so the decision, Judge Christopher Droney sided with the NFL, but here, let me read this. While a judge found clear proof the NFL encouraged teams to reduce contract guarantees, a necessary smoking gun was not found. So they could not find evidence that all the owners came together and decided upon this.
Oh, but they did find that at least a couple of owners got together.
They did find that there is, yes.
There's
And-
at least 2 owners that got together.
Well, there's more
talked-
than that, yeah.
Right, but they found at least 2 that did conspire to keep salaries down. And those two owners are one of the most disliked and slimeball, ineffective owners in all of football. And then Dean Spanos.
Well,
yes,
yeah.
Dean Spanos is not the guy I'm talking about first. The first one is Cardinals owner Michael Bidwill.
Yeah.
But it seemed, what is the old saying? Birds of a feather
flock
together.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that Bidwill and Dean Spanos, two guys who are cheap, whose organizations have no respect throughout the league, whose fan bases hate them, or at least former fan bases hate them or their family name.
Yeah.
And guys that just aren't that bright, and teams that are also terrible pretty consistently. That they would be together on this.
Yes. So in 2022, when the Cardinals signed Kyler Murray to a contract, but it wasn't fully guaranteed.
Okay.
Dean Spanos texted him one day after, or texted Michael Bidwill, the owner of the Cardinals, one day after. And here's from the documents. Spanos, congratulations on signing Murray. Bidwill, thanks, Dino. I don't know why that bothers me so much.
Dino.
Thanks, Dino. And this is from Pro Football Talk.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dino.
Yes, this is a Mike Florio article.
He's a former lawyer.
Right. But this is straight from the court document.
Yes.
So this isn't.
These are text messages between Michael Bidwill and Dean Spanos.
But this is from the court documents. This is not Michael Florio digging this out.
No.
This is just already there.
You could find this in the 61-page document.
Right.
Thanks, Dino. These quarterback deals are expensive, but we limited the fully guaranteed money and have some pretty good language. Thankfully, we have a quarterback that's worth paying. Spanos said, your deal helps us for our quarterback next year.
Who happened to be Justin Herbert.
Yep. Bidwill said, I think many teams will be happy with it once they have a chance to review. Cleveland really screwed things up, but I was resolved to keep the guaranteed money relatively
And they're speaking
low.
of Cleveland giving out guaranteed money to young players.
Yes.
That makes it to where the rest of the teams have to give out guaranteed money to the players.
So the Browns gave Deshaun Watson all that money.
Bidwell's trying to change it.
He
and
is.
say, hey, Cleveland makes this really tough on us.
Yes, and so that's the end of the text messages. But the judge explained these text messages are not evidence of a collusive agreement, in part because, quote, the comments by these particular owners were after the contracts with the quarterback were signed, not before. And the reason that the NFLPA basically lost this is because they did it to themselves. In the contract, the language is that they have the burden. Hold on, I'm not a lawyer. Article 17 of the CBA, which states that the complaining party, which is the NFLPA, quote, shall bear the burden of demonstrating by a clear preponderance of the evidence. So basically, the NFLPA said, we'll prove that they're colluding. And if they would have left the word clear out of it,
they might have got it.
They might have got it.
Well, look, it doesn't matter a lot. It does a little. The bottom line is
Dean Spanos
NFL owners and people like Dean Spanos are slime balls. And one of the reasons that they have billions upon billions of dollars is because they're cheap. And I don't think there's anybody out there remotely within our listening audience that ever would think that owners don't get together behind the scenes and collude to keep prices down. Look, there were Major League Baseball players who sued ownership in the 70s for this and won.
Yep.
So this is not new. This is 50 years worth of owners saying, hey, if you can sign this guy for $10 million, that would help me sign him, my guy, for $10 million. As opposed to, look, let's look at it from the other side for a minute. Remember when Jackson Merrill signed the, quote, team-friendly deal with the Padres?
Yes.
Do you remember how the Baseball Players Association reacted to that?
They said he shouldn't have taken the deal.
They were not pleased.
No.
Because his contract now allows it for the next guy to maybe be, quote, lowballed. Now, we can't we don't understand the word lowballed when you're talking about $30 million.
Yeah.
But in these circles, you can see where it comes from. The owners behind the scenes definitely talk. And they definitely root for each other to keep prices down so that they themselves don't have to pay as much. The thing that's crazy about it, but it shouldn't surprise us. The thing that's crazy about it is that these owners have so much money that it doesn't really matter if you give Kyler Murray or Justin Herbert or Tua or whoever, if you give them $70 million instead of 60, these owners are worth billions and billions.
Yes, they are.
Like, it doesn't mean anything, but they're competitive to the point where they feel like they don't want to pay where the other owner. Now, the good owner, I think there's a lot of owners out there who don't get involved in this at all and just run their business to try to win. But people like Spanos and Bidwell, look, all you have to do is look at the success of the Cardinals franchise and the Chargers franchise over all these years, not just 2 years, 3 years. I'm talking about all these years. You tell me when either of those teams has been good, right? Except for like a blip on the radar here and there.
The Cardinals have just been missing the playoffs.
Well, they got in there a couple, right, with Kurt Warner. But you know what I mean? I think they made the one, maybe another. But my point being, two of the worst franchises in football the last 40 years are the Cardinals and the Chargers. They just are. And part of the reason is because they have ownership that cares about stuff like this rather than just doing what you got to do to win.
Yes. I'm reading more about this, and I guess like Deshaun Watson, when his contract was announced, Kyler Murray was already in negotiation, so he had already submitted a contract with non-fully guaranteed language in there.
Yeah.
And so as soon as the Deshaun Watson happened, they tried to change it. Yeah. But I mean, this again, it's, as you said, it's not surprising. This has been happening for years and years and years and years. But it's not a good look for the NFL owners. Don't look good in this, even if they won the lawsuit. This is going to cause friction.
Man. A little.
These players, we're going to have an NFL strike at some point.
All right, here's where the friction will come in. But we know this again, Scraby. When it's time to re-up the next, CBA, the owners won't trust the players, and the players won't trust the owners, and the beat goes on.
Strike.
It isn't, but it's never been any different. The players never trust the owners. This is why. And the owners think the players are, not exactly to be believed either. I think the owners are the more.
Oh, the owners are the worst. They're the worst party in this whole thing because I don't necessarily think that quarterbacks should get fully guaranteed money. Like, that's just not how football works. But they should get some guaranteed money. Like, Kirk Cousins got a fully guaranteed deal. I'm sure people were not happy about that when that happened. I thought everybody was going to get a fully guaranteed deal after that, and you didn't really see it. But Deshaun Watson has put the blueprint as to why you do not give someone fully guaranteed money in the NFL.
Let me just say that I can honestly care less about any of these contracts because I don't get any of the money.
That's true.
And I don't really care who gets it and where it goes. But I do believe that players, I'd rather them see the money than the owners keep it all.
Yeah.
To me, this is more about just what kind of human being you are. And are you upfront and are you honest and are you negotiating in good faith where I make a deal, an offer, you bring one back, I go back, I say, hey, I think this is what you're worth. You say that. But if you're Dean Spanos, Dino, what you're busy doing, honestly, is slimy going behind the scenes to find out what somebody else is doing with their quarterback so that you can hopefully lowball yours. That's what he's about. That's why, even though we'll always miss the Chargers, we will never miss him.
No, we won't. We will not.
All right. One somebody I got to catch up to real quick is Sam Levitt. Saw him last night. Wish I could see him again today, but I'm going to have to settle for listening to him. He's got the Padre pregame show next.
Does have silky smooth pipes.
Padres and Nationals tonight. Scrappy and I are on after the game tomorrow because it's a day game.
Post game show.
Post game. So we'll see you then. Let's hopefully be talking about 2 wins tonight and tomorrow.
Seriously.
Bye-bye.